Man, this is a song from yesteryear. All right, let's pop out the chat. Where's my face light? How come that's not on? Pop out chat. Pop out top. Pop out top. All right, so there's YouTube. I did all my descriptions and my titles. Stand light. Face light. Toggle. There it is. How's everybody doing? I should double check that the Twitch title took. I think I hit done. It looks like I hit done. Yeah, cool. All right. Laser me trickster? Wait, what? Huh? What's up, Shadow Wade? Yeah, the laser board isn't quite working. Oh, is that the name of the song? Because I don't know the titles of some of those really common electronic songs from yesteryear. And I really should, I would do better to learn some of them. I have a friend, oh, this camera, did that just autofocus? Did you just autofocus? Huh? I thought I saw an autofocus. I see an auto light level. Yeah, that autofocused. That means it's not calibrated properly. What the hell? Let's see if we can do setup, and then I can do the procedure on this one. And that'll mostly get it back into functioning. I have to refocus it now. This is the thing about these Logitech cameras, is that you have to calibrate them properly. They have a weird little like secret procedure, and if you don't, was that a bug? What was that? Hold on a second. Something out of focus just crawled in a direction. I'm on to you, bug. That's gonna be one of those house centipedes. It's gonna fucking bite me. I hear they bite. Or they just do emotional damage. I don't know. It could have been a fluff of hair. The little tufts of hair from Willow are all over the place too. Because it seemed a little bit too bright, but it was completely out of focus because of the camera stuff. So I didn't get to see what it was. It looked like a bug. I need to configure video on this one. And go to camera control and pull focus out a little bit. There we go. Soon enough, we'll be able to test this thing and get it running. Soon enough, then maybe I can make some cool ambient noises that will kick off stream. What's up, Kavorka? How you doing? How's it going? Let's see here. Back over to here. This one is still calibrated from the last time I used it. It's just, I guess, when the microscope unplugged, since the microscope and the Burn the Subs camera are both the same model, they get confused about which one is which. And so if one of them unplugs, the other one will become uncalibrated. Load up the stream on TV so I can do PC work. Nothing's done. Oh, nothing gets done. Yeah, I feel like that sometimes. When you broadcast projects, you spend so much time explaining everything you're doing. And that's how it is. There's no changing that. Like, you know, you guys have seen, people in chat have said, I've tried to run my show, which first of all, I was like, who the fuck are you? No, anyway. No, people have tried to like run my show and say, why don't you just not explain any of that stuff to people? And it's like, no, I'm not streaming for you. I'm streaming for everybody who doesn't know what the hell I'm doing. Because I get that a lot. I love how you talk about stuff, but I don't know what you're talking about. And I'm like, damn it, that's the whole purpose of what I do, is to try to make this stuff as accessible as possible. Because there really are some amazing things that you can do with electronics and just this kind of tomfoolery, the physical hardware portion, the software portion. There's so much cool stuff to do, and the more we get people in here and don't gatekeep the technology, the more exposure to new ideas and interesting and cool ideas you get. That's the whole thing that I love about the Arduino, is that artists started getting Arduinos because they're like, I want to do more than just blink a light or put an LED on something. I want it to be like interactive. And they did a lot of really, really interesting, cool ideas. And it might not be stuff that, you know, the EEs in the room approve of. It's like, why are you doing it that way? It's like, well, I don't know any other way to do it. Why are you being mean? Like, you know, it's like there's no room for gatekeeping, and there's no room for being mean about how somebody goes about doing a project. And if you get that into your thick fucking skull, you will find that there is a huge, rich world out there of ideas that people are either executing or don't quite know enough to execute. And maybe if you let them in a little bit, you'll enrich the world. I don't know. That's a little philosophical for me, but still. I just want to hear somebody talking about your interesting to me. What is with the popped out? This isn't you. This is YouTube. The popped out YouTube chat covering over. Like, get that out of here. I'm trying to read this message, and it's like, God damn it. I guess with a more active chat, I don't have that problem. But that button is blatantly in the way. Get that out of here. Well, I'm glad my content and my personality is interesting. I struggle with that a little bit because I'm like, am I boring? The answer is probably yes, but I try not to be boring. What up, Madam You? How you doing? And Incredible Mike. What up? Yeah, we're doing a Saturday stream, and by the motion of chat this early, maybe we'll have a good one today. Maybe we'll have a lot of people watching. Saturday, sometimes you see a big drop-off in numbers just because people aren't used to my altering of the schedule. Some streamers get away with this, and they have no schedule. They just go on whenever they want. Not boring, thank you. That's a high praise, actually. As long as I'm not boring. I don't have to be smart. I don't have to be right. I can just be not boring. But yeah, like the numbers kind of drop off on Saturday a little bit, which is fine. It's off schedule, sort of, for me. What I'm going to do, I think, this week, if I can remember and bother to do it, you know, there's a reason I chose Oh Bother as a moniker, as a handle. If I can get to it this week, I want to work on that VTuber studio model a little bit, and I want to try to get that running so that I can use it for game streams. So I don't have to have a face cam. Unless I'm doing driving. We actually looked at a house. We looked at a house nearby, and it had a huge area that I could have turned into a kind of a big like workshop and then brewing stuff and all kinds of cool stuff. It didn't have room for my car, though. That's the only problem. So we're not going forward with that. But maybe at some point in the next couple years, there might be openings around here. Everybody's very old in this neighborhood, and there are other types of houses around here that are larger. And so my dog gets to keep all her friends, and we get to move into a slightly larger area, and maybe I can redesign the shop a little bit and have some space. It would be nice to, well, I'm going to redesign my desk anyway, but have the wheel be a little bit more of a feature, maybe give it a frame, something simple. And actually, the fun part about that would be, what is that emote? Hold on, I get to see what that is. It's like a potato? Trilly heart. Oh, it's a little peepo with a heart. Oh, that's cute. So the wheel project would be really funny to get into a frame, because then hopefully your neighbors dies. I hope for death. I hope you all experience lots of death. I know, it's what it's like. Actually, the neighbor whose house we looked at, he's like 89 years old. He did some outing with his family, and he fucking died. No, I'm just kidding. He fell. He was fine, but his kids were like, you can't live alone in a giant house. Like, what are you doing? So they kind of pushed him towards getting more managed care, which is a good move. It's a good move. There's a point in time. But anyway, so that opened up that house, but it's not for us, unfortunately. But what I could do with the wheel project is I could put it in something, right? Where I could like move one of the monitors on the arm to be in the opposite direction and still use my gaming computer with it. Maybe like a wireless keyboard. I don't know. Adding more accessories to a computer is really... My computer has like 6,000 USB slots that it's using. I don't know about adding more. Either way, searching your name on Roku YouTube TV app is bother. Oh, is underscore not as available? I wish I could get an underscore on the prefix for my emotes. I use a Fire TV and I just have a Twitch app on that, so it just puts my stuff up there. And then I have to have the Twitch app on my phone as a streamer, because if I go poop, I have to monitor you guys and make sure that you guys aren't sharing porn while I poop. Don't share porn. Okay. Anyway, so if I built my driving rig like in a little frame, I've got the saw. I can cut the frame rails. I can just buy the frame rails and cut them, put them all together. Yeah, write that down. Put that on a TV. Then I could actually do like a switch that you'd flip that would flip you between racing car brakes and shitty brakes. And for shitty brakes, I can use a hydraulic master cylinder that you would enable. You would enable flow into possibly a brake caliper, like a single brake caliper, but you would put a long brake hose, like the longest, shittiest brake hose you could find, so that it would bulge out with the pressure and your pedal would seem squishy. So you would need like an actuator or a valve of some kind in order to enable it and disable the good brakes. And the good brakes would just be a stopper. So you would just nothing. So I guess you would have default good brakes and then you enable the solenoid valve and it would be big squish through a big hose. That'd be awesome. I pressed too many times. I have to start the search all over again, working on a workaround to make it easier for me, the maths. I wonder, you don't have like favorites or something? Yeah, with Twitch on the Fire TV, I just have my, the people I follow and they just show up on it. So if I'm hanging out with the dog, it's just click, 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 and there I am watching a stream on a TV, which is a little weird. I used to do that for a little bit when I had a TV next to like my work desk. I have too many subs. Oh, I see. Yeah, on YouTube I've got like a billion of those. That's true. I've been looking for something for so long I've forgotten what I was looking for. I've been there. I've been there. I've been there. I've been there. Sometimes I'm looking for a particular video because I feel like, I don't know, reliving the old days, and I'll scroll through my list of subs on YouTube and I'll forget what I was looking for. It's like, what was I doing? I have many monitors, but they're too small. Are my details too small? See, I want to get to the studio stuff so I can make a little avatar that can sit in the corner. Not for these streams, but for gaming streams. I think that would be pretty cute. Not that I really want to become a VTuber, but I have the technology. PixieK made me that VTuber model, so I should probably use it. And that way I can have like tomato stains on my shirt and you guys won't know. Went to get Q-tips, did 20 things instead, saw the box a few hours later and grabbed them. That sounds familiar. Oh, I see. You were just using me as a rubber ducky in order to trigger your memory of what you were actually trying to look for. There's a thing about human brains where if you go from one room to the other, the brain wipes, and there's some evolutionary piece to that. I read it a long time ago, and I don't remember what I read, so I'm not going to spread misinformation. But it is aliens. That is what it is. It is actually aliens. Not illegal, I mean like space aliens, which are also illegal aliens because I don't think they have paperwork. Unless they did, unless DHS or whatever the fuck you're supposed to do. Maybe they actually have a passport. I don't know. But I'm talking about space aliens. Talking about space aliens. Space aliens. Man, I'm so burned on these fucking things. What's that, watchmakering? That's a good name. You should do horology. Removing unnecessary spatial info. Yeah, here come the men in black. That's what I was telling my dog. I was walking my dog, and there were a bunch of sirens in the background. And I'm like, bud, we better get inside because these police are coming to fucking arrest you. Like, what you're doing is illegal. Astronauts have to get through customs. I know that there was one of the astronauts in Apollo 13 forgot to submit his like paperwork for voting, and so they made an exception for him. And it's like, that is so government-y, red tapey. You're like, oh, that's so wholesome, and it's like, not really, no. It's more a little crazy. I have certification for watchmaking. Okay, that's pretty awesome. Which is a bit of a misnomer. It's a service repair, but the goal is to engineer and manufacture my own movements. That is cool as hell. There's one of the science and tech streamers, my fellow, my peers, Mr. Horologist, and I've been meaning to like raid into his channel because he's often live around the same time I am, I think. Actually, I dropped off. I don't know, Mr. Horologist. It's paleontologizing that I see streaming after me. Mr. Horologist, I'm not sure what the hours are, but we've rated him before a long, long time ago. You know them. Okay, good. Just spreading the word. Spreading the word. If I wasn't so useless, all right, let's not start with that. I'd get up and find some batteries for the mini Android box keyboard. Used to develop Roku apps for the beer plus 10 years. Yeah. Paleo's good content. I've only catched little bits, but I saw some good stuff when I did. So far, so good with this panel, by the way. The panel we printed. It did not take long to print. I don't think I could have continued streaming because it took hours, but we need to tighten up the switch a little bit, and we need to check other fitment too. We need to test as much as possible with this panel, and that's what we're going to work on today. This is pretty good. It's decently tight. I could tighten it up a little bit more. It does not twist. It fits quite well into all of its grooves, and it's a very satisfying click when you insert the thing. My printer is absolutely terrible at printing support. It's not that it's bad at printing support. It's good at printing the support. It's the interface with the PETG. The interface with the PETG. Small World? No. It's not Small World. The paleontologizing, Mr. Horologist, myself, and a bunch of other academic streamers who are way smarter than us. People with PhDs. What was the? Yeah, there's all kinds of people that were in here. Are all part of, sorry, my brain is like leaking out of my ears today. Are all part of the crap. Why did I forget what it was? It's like a coalition of academic streamers. The Knowledge Fellowship. There we go. Knowledge Fellowship. They kind of dragged me into that. I don't consider myself like academic or educational in any way. I do kind of, but yeah, I'm apparently now part of this whole thing of smart people streamers that spread knowledge about stuff. Third channel idea. Oh, boss. I just have videos where I yell at whoever's watching to stop slacking off. That would be, I couldn't motivate myself to do that. Astronauts have to get the, yeah, okay, I got that one. Was so useless, and then I got that one. Do we talk to each other outside of streams? I rarely, but there's a whole Discord, and I think they're all talking to each other. They're all making plans and like having fun parties without me. And I'm like, hey guys, what's up? And they all go offline like at the same time. They all go offline at like the same time, and I don't know. I guess I don't think they're doing anything without me, but no, I don't know. I'm not sure. I don't. I'm not totally plugged into that what they're up to, so I kind of do my own thing, you know. And you know, hey, people like what I do. They like what I do, and they come by and they say, hey, what's up, man? And I say, hey, how you doing? Yeah. So far so good. These two fit nicely. We will test the rest of them in a minute here, and we call that iterative design. We call that iterative design. Iterative. I mean, I could try to like taper this in a way, or have it hug this in a slightly different manner, but I think just pressing it in and just reducing the size of the hole will be enough for this thing to grip, because it doesn't move right to left. It doesn't move right. There's a little bit, but not much. And then up and down is kind of going to be locked in when I make it squish a bit more. Father's Discord is full of smart and helpful people. Yeah, I've sort of really kind of worked on that, and it's tough going because, you know, I don't want a big volume of people to suddenly fall upon the Discord. We have a pretty good crew of people in there that are extremely helpful and smart. And it's a wonderful resource that I hope sticks around. What happened to my thermals? Thermals, what happened? Let's go to thermals. Properties. Deactivate. Activate. Deactivate. Unplug. Plug it back in, and then hit activate. Cool. Always cool when my thermals break. It is. If you know thermals, that color scheme is FLIR. It's a Lepton 3.5, 3.2, 3 point whatever. It's in a group gets thermal webcam module. How does one get at that Discord? There is a Discord command, and at the end of every stream, I also share the link for the Discord. Yeah, the sensor is Lepton 3.5, and the housing is custom, but there are 3D models for everything on this, including the Lepton 3D model for their thermal imager actually has the cone of sight. So you can use that to extrude a solid over the front. You just have to make sure that there's plenty of venting, because they get very hot. Forget what sensor's in the phone, would have to look it up. I probably know by the image. Hey, Brink GG, Bother Weekend stream. Yeah, I'm trapped indoors. It's like beautiful outside. I know my dog is champing at the bit to get outside. She saw all her friends this morning though. So she's ready for, I think she's taking a nap right now, which is why I'm not listening to barking. But it is beautiful outside. I am locked in a basement, subterranean. Unfortunate, but we're gonna get some good work done. FLIR Lepton 3.5 sensor, yeah. And that's the one in the phone thing. I wonder how they do it. I wonder if they have one that doesn't have that lens that goes over the front, because like that mechanism inside of anything portable is so dangerous. I used to not have a housing around this, and so I'd bump into the sensor and it would fall onto the desk, and that eventually broke the little shutter that went in front of the lens in order to calibrate it. There are ones that don't have the lens. Rain in Vancouver, BC today. Huh, man. We gotta, at some point, we gotta make the Poop Finder 3000, which is a thermal imager my brother gave me because it's garbage. And if I add lasers to it, then I'll have a big crosshair wherever I see heat in the grass, and that'll be where poop is, or a snake. I'm on the subway, so I'm gonna lose Wi-Fi, but good luck with today's project. Dude, I do not deserve to be brought up on that much infrastructure. You're pumping me through that much infrastructure just to lay a sub down and say good luck today. I'm flattered. Thank you. Have a good one, Brink. So the thermals, I got to get them running again. I don't know what happened. Something went out of whack. Let me just get that back. Properties, deactivate. Controversial opinion, but I believe that tomato has no business on a sandwich. It might taste okay, and Lord knows today I got myself in a big pickle. I turned myself into a no, we're not going to do that. I'm so tired. I'm so tired all the time. Tomato on sandwiches, it has no business on a burger or a sandwich. Maybe if you're having like a big lettuce wrap, it's okay in there. But if you combine that tomato with any volume of mayo, you end up wearing the entire sandwich. I am so mad. I put tomato on a little chicken sandwich that I made with some leftover chicken, and I added an ancho chipotle chili spice powder to some mayo, slathered that shit on. It was delicious. It was very spicy. First bite, the tomato went, and it got all over my fucking shirt. And so I had to wipe the shirt off with, with a towel, and then sit in front of my fan, my super duper floor fan that goes like, it moves an incredible volume of air. I turned that thing up to like juice, and it just went and dried me off. But like Wendy's. I'm gonna say Wendy's, and all the bots are gonna come in. All the bots that scrape Twitch subtitles for a mention of a product. Wendy's puts mayo and tomato on their burgers, and the burger is warm. And when I get the burger, I come home with it because I'm a millennial and I have to watch YouTube while eating. So I put it on a paper plate, and then I put it in the microwave for like not even 30 seconds. And all the condiments get warm, and when they get warm, they're not as viscous. And so you take a bite, and everything goes out of the back of the burger and onto any piece of clothing in the vicinity. It's the worst. I just, and then tomatoes go out of season and they become mealy. But since we are a global economy, the tomatoes are coming from God fucking knows where, and they're who knows how old, and they're a little bit radioactive, and then you get this mealy sand tomato on your sandwich. I just, none of it. I don't want to deal with any of it. You keep half the foil wrap on and eat it like a burrito. But then you've got like a soup pocket that you're holding on to where the burger was. Winter tomatoes are no good. So like, why are we putting it on stuff? Slice it up, put it in the salsa. I don't know. It's oh man, I you know, I had a hankering for it today because I figured I don't have a lot of stuff to go on the sandwich. We're kind of on the dregs in terms of groceries right now because I mean groceries are fucking really expensive right now. So I could have chopped up an onion. I could have used that, but I've had so much onion over the past like month. I think I am made out of onion a little bit. I'm like starting to smell a bit like an onion. So I don't smell. But anyway, I'm like, I got to change it up. I got to do something different. Like, what if, since I've got all this spicy stuff, I add something that's going to be like a little bit sweet. So slice up the tomato, put some salt on it, throw it on the sandwich. First bite, and it's all over my shirt. And then I feel like a slob. If I was working in an office and I did that, I would have a wet shirt for the rest of the day, which is, people see that and they may go, oh, that sucks. But they go, that guy's a fucking slob. And they make that internal judgment. You don't want that. Don't mess with stuff like that in an office setting. I was leaning fully over the plate. It still got on me. It makes me feel like such a jerk. I'm not even supposed to be here today. What are you doing in this office? You haven't worked in an office in 8 years. I got tomato on my shirt. I got red on you. Okay. I'm awake. I'm alive. I got to bed way too late last night. This has been a habit. I'm gonna reverse this. I'm gonna fix this. Been about 8 years for me too. It sneaks up on you. The pandemic kind of smeared a couple years together. So you want me to get tomato on my shirt at home? You can do whatever the fuck you want at home, man. You can smear that tomato on anything you want. Well, I mean, under the eyes of God, but you know. I was in watch school at the peak of lockdown. Damn, I was playing Among Us. It was fun. Hey, I can't knock that game. We all had a good time with it. That was really a 5-minute print for that little bracket, huh? I'm just looking at the other screen here, and it's 5 minutes. Those prints went swimmingly well. They if Santa Goat is watching rather, I would urge him to go actually work on Monbazu. But if Satana is watching, then I would go urge him to watch Flatulent Gonad's stream. There's a donut shop under the office. How are you not perfectly spherical? Yeah, there you go. I'm waiting on an 11-hour print. Oh, the contrast between an 11-hour print and whatever the hell this thing is. Normalize whatever the hell this is. Actually turned out really well. Why is this so dark? Why are we in such darkness? What, pray tell, have we done cosmically to deserve such things? We got kind of a weird camera situation because one of them unplugged the other day, yesterday rather, during yesterday's stream. So all the other cameras are being sensitive little assholes. They're like, oh, it's too cold, it's too hot. Shut up. Make good images. Yeah, this is good for one of my prints. It's not incredible. It's not a professional printist's kind of thing. It's not a machined part, but it is good for one of my prints. It was done quickly. It took 5 minutes. It's PETG, so it's strong as hell. I'm trying to twist it right now. It will hold on to screws, which is the most important part. And it retains mostly the shape of what I designed in CAD, only it's a little bit doughy. Totally fine by me. Don't mind the food in my fingernail. God, I gotta clean under my fingernails. Whenever I use I need like finger gloves. I should put finger gloves on for showing stuff under the microscope. That's why I like pointing devices more. We were allowed back after 1 quarter since it's a trade school. I see. Yeah, I guess the microscopes and all that stuff is not exactly, you know, you guys need to actually like learn that stuff, so you need to physically be there. How did our USBs turn out? I'm actually, you know what, I'm saving measuring all this stuff up for stream. One day I'll go through and I'll design my visuals a little bit more. We could probably make some pretty fun layouts for, you know, viewing the microscope and stuff that look good. That is almost too little solder. That actually is too little solder. Look at that. The big capacitor that looks like it's about to fall off. That should have a little bit more solder on it. Break out some finger cots like Mr. Horologist. He's actually got those. I haven't watched a lot of Mr. Horologist. We raided one time, and I should probably raid again. Raids are scary. Raiding another channel is scary because they go, oh my God, it's you! And then they talk to you, and you're like, I just want to leave. I just want to go. I was 4.5 hours. I gotta go. How did you solder it? I didn't solder this. This came from Amazon. This module testing module that we're building is an exercise in me not completely overdoing it. So I'm not making a circuit board, even though that might have saved me a lot of time making a circuit board. We're doing modules, so I can just go from solderless breadboard to perf board and be done. Andy Lippy, I do not know the name. He's usually on too late for you to raid out to anyways. Occasionally I've seen, well, no, not Mr. Horologist. It's paleontologizing. And then what I'll do is I'll end my stream with the intent to raid and nobody's around, and then I will walk the dog, come back, and then Gonad is on. And I'm like, God damn it. He starts up like the minute my stream stops. OBS setup videos and stuff, good tips. There's Frugal Streamer is one of the ones that I was looking at on YouTube. But yeah, I mean, at some point, maybe if I do end up moving in a couple years, I will just delete all of my stream setup files, do the move, and reset it all up and have something that's more dynamic and designed and interesting and fun. I'll have to get Adobe again. I don't want to get Adobe again, but for the making these animations, I don't know if there's if I can import them into another program that can do that stuff. Roku has a huge delay on the stream. I always get huge. Yeah, that's one thing about when I watch on the TV upstairs, the internet is so shitty that if I microwave something, it like kicks out the stream. But also, if I'm watching something upstairs, and I leave my computer on with the same stream, I can hear right before something happens on the TV. Not right before. It's like 10 seconds before. So I'll hear, oh God! And then 10 seconds later, something dramatic happens on the stream. It's a bad delay. You just have to kind of eat it. And then when I leave a comment, I'll leave a comment on something, like, because you go on your phone and you leave a comment on the stream, and it's like everyone has moved on, and my comment is ancient, and I've got that partner badge, so people look, oh, what's this partner saying? Oh, they're 10 minutes behind? They're 10 seconds behind? What the fuck? That guy sucks. It's like, it's the worst thing that I can do. I gotta just shut my fucking hole when I'm on other people's streams. I have both playing. This is weird. Yeah. What kind of internet do you have? We had old Verizon equipment, and these houses were built in the 90s before, believe it or not, before Wi-Fi was prevalent. And so the Wi-Fi propagation from where the internet comes in the unfinished part of the basement to one floor above it through what I assume is wood, because I look up and I see wood, not metal. Somehow it doesn't get up there. We got an upgrade though. We got a gigabit Ethernet now, or a gigabit equipment now. So we actually do have like 500 up and 300 down or something like that. It's supposed to be 1 gig, but they say up to, which means you'll never see that speed. But now that we've done that, We've got slightly better Wi-Fi. I think the big problem with this neighborhood is everyone is so close together. This is like being in an apartment for Wi-Fi. It's slightly less dense than an apartment in this neighborhood. And so when I do the Wi-Fi scan, there's like 500 different channels. So I need to like pivot to brand new technology that all the old people don't use. I need to find whatever that is and switch to those channels, and then I think everything will sparkle around here. But for now, I have 2 repeaters up in the second floor. I have the main antenna down here. I have 4 high-gain antennas on my personal internet here, and the antennas on the second floor barely give me Wi-Fi when I'm across the street while my dog is hanging out. And then there's no cell service. There's no cell service because not in my backyard. Nobody wants cell towers. They're like, that's disgusting. I am the kind of person where if I see a cell tower, I am accepting of it. And I know 5G is all on the telephone poles. We don't have telephone poles in the neighborhood, so it doesn't get in here. So if I literally put a tripod in a field with a 5G antenna on it, everybody would get reception, but they would think it's ugly. It's like, can we put a fake tree in the middle of one of the traffic circles where nobody's doing anything? And maybe put an electric car charger on one of the parking lots, and maybe we put a couple solar panels on roofs. No, those are ugly. I don't think those things are ugly. I love all of that stuff. Infrastructure is sexy, and I would love to see solar panels on our roofs. But everybody is 30 years older than me here, so welcome to an HOA. I didn't have any choice. You guys know my living situation. I don't go into detail, but you can infer. You guys can infer enough about me. You guys guessed my birth year by the references that I made. I think I once said something about Care Bears, and they said, you were born in 1983. And I went, God fucking damn it. They were going to do windmills on the mountains, and it got shot down because it would be an eyesore. Why do people think that's an eyesore? The same thing happened in like fucking Nantucket. They said the windmills will ruin our view. Motherfucker, your view is a blue line in the sky where the blue becomes a different blue. It's like, what do? You know, having little things spin around all the way out there, that would be great. I think that'd be great. I don't mind it. Yeah, wind turbines are fucking cool to look at. I don't understand these people. You're dumb. You're dumb and your sensibilities are old. Get with the program. I know, it's like, look at all that free power. Well, I mean, somebody else is making a shit ton of money off of that and not us. Put you on the TV and yet here I still am. Save me, Jeebus. Go do your work. Stop talking. You shut up and do your work. I would be the worst manager ever. God, so in consulting, you get these people that are laser focused on consulting, and they're like, you go into work, you do your work, maybe you eat lunch if the divine ordain you, and you get blessed to be able to eat lunch at your desk, and then you go right back to work because it's not your property. They're just letting you work there. I was like, dude, you have no humanity to you at all. Like, what the fuck? Like, a comfortable workplace is everything. No, according to these people, you know, if I'm clocking time on their dime, I must be 100% locked in and doing work. And that's the opposite of how I function. I don't understand how they're like that. Their life, and by the way, they don't have higher emotions. They're just smart people that do work. I don't understand. It's like totally automatic brain at all times. I don't know how people live like that. They have no humanity. It's easy to say no, and some people enjoy being outraged over the turbines and propellers and stuff. You're out. Good. Go do your stuff. Thank you for hanging out. I really appreciate you. I don't mind you getting distracted and chatting, but you told me to be mean about it, so. Yeah, I don't understand all the outrage about that kind of stuff. I can't fathom ever thinking that a solar panel sitting on top of a roof would be a bad thing, because it's a roof. It's up there. We don't look at that all the time. You can look up at it and go, oh, there's a solar panel there, but like generally, I'm down here. I don't understand why people would be annoyed. You're still on the TV. I subbed you. All right. Yeah, it's unfathomable to me. And maybe if those solar roof tiles get more popular, you could like sneak solar power onto your house, because it is if this neighborhood's on a hill, so when you come into the neighborhood, you can look out and see all the roofs. Not all, but some of them. I mean, we're in the forest. We're in Pennsylvania, after all. Penn's Woods. But you can see a bunch of roofs. And it's like, what is that space doing? It's keeping water off of your house sometimes. Maybe it keeps the house a little cooler. Keeps you from getting sunburn when you're sleeping. But I don't know, like maybe we could put a couple solar panels on it, because like brown, like sandy things on tar are not good looking. I don't know why we think that looks good versus something that is a little blue and iridescent and has kind of a grid to it. I think that would be great. Reverse engineer the power meter. People had stuff like that. That would a copper roof would not be a great idea. You could take people out with that. The power meter stuff, there was a way to like get it to reverse. Like, and the power company frowns on that very strongly frowns upon that. There were like little trinkets and accessories, and then you get into that whole sect of people that steal electricity by like burrowing in behind the meter and using like forks and knives to bypass the meter. Scary shit. Yeah, copper roof after a while. Yeah, that's true. Solar shingles, that's what I was talking. Yeah, the solar shingles. I know that's an elongated muskrat thing, but those look somewhat like normal brown roof tiles, but they produce solar energy. Anything is better than nothing, right? It's a whole bunch of real estate that you could be taking advantage of. Yeah, the copper patina takes a little while. I guess you can get products that'll patina it a little faster. Where's my soda? I have soda for once. That's why I'm bouncing off the walls with caffeine. This is dangerous. This is my only glass of soda, and if I knock it over, I'm going to be sad. But fighting off meth heads like they're zombies. Well, like the zombies they are. There we go. Back, meth heads. Copper. All right, let's get started. Actually, this song's pretty nice. I would listen to this a little longer, but let's get started. I'm gonna scratch right near the mic. Hold on. Save you guys from audio blowing up your houses. The people on, by the way, the people on YouTube cannot hear the music that I have going on in the background, and it's a charming little song. This is one of the chill mixes from Deckard of Space Cowboys. So. Where do we land? You're building a windmill in the backyard. No. No. I'm just talking bullshit. Yeah, there were like 100-year-old fences that they would rip down and sell for metal scrap. Like steel scrap is not all that profitable. And you know, people would steal like kids' bikes and shit like that in order to hawk it for a couple bucks. It's absolutely fucking ghoulish behavior. It's the worst. Just the lowest of the low. How can you steal a kid's bike? Like, you're a monster. Like, that's monstrous behavior. Actually monstrous behavior. All right, anyway, let's get started here and stop talking about meth heads. Set up, get this out of there, and then we'll fade out the music, even though it's kind of a charming little song. We got a couple people this weekend. Hey, that's nice. What are y'all doing inside? Well, in some places it's raining, as was mentioned earlier. Here it's actually legitimately gorgeous out. I should be walking the dog around the neighborhood multiple times so that I could actually start losing weight. I've got a scheme. I've got like an evil scheme for losing weight. I don't make a lot of testosterone. That's why I'm a big fat guy. I would like to get back on it, but I can't because I have a high red blood cell count. And that could come from like not sleeping properly, and we've explored all kinds of medical stuff for that. Turns out I have one of the markers for high iron in my blood, so I need to get blood removed from my body in order to have lower levels of iron. Well, it turns out I am now eligible to give blood. And so what I can do is I can nefariously cheat the system and donate blood every 4 months, but they've got a special kind of blood donation where you only give red blood cells. So I can do a double donation with red blood cells every 4 months, then go to the doctor, and the doctor goes, your blood seems fine. You don't have like iron or a lot of red blood cells in here. And then I can get on testosterone again after I strangle my doctor a little bit to make him like actually capitulate to medical stuff that has helped me in the past before. Because I went on external testosterone for like a couple years in 2013, and I lost all of the weight, and I was a normal person for a little bit, and then I ballooned out from stress because I got fired from a bunch of consulting jobs. Anyway, the point is I can cheat the system and donate blood now, so I'm gonna end up doing that. Double red blood cell. I do that as I have a rarer type. I got an A- on my blood, which is a passing grade, and I'm pretty happy about that. I got an O. What does that mean? I got a 0? Anyway. Yeah, I got an A-, so it's a passing grade. It's another way that I am terminally average. I am exactly average height. I am way overweight. That's where I kind of exceed the averages. But just everything about me is so average. And all my friends are like 6 foot and over. So if I'm talking to my friends, I'm like, hey guys, how's it going? I feel like I'm tiny. Anyway, moving on. What are we working on today? Because I'm not just talking about medical stuff all the time. It's an unfortunate thing when most of the stuff going on in your life is medical. I'm open about it. I share about it, but it can't be the only thing you talk about. You got to be careful about that. People don't like that. So anyway, here we are. We're in the shop. It's Saturday. It is gorgeous outside. I'm stuck inside. We got a lot of work to do. A lot of my projects have been stagnating. A lot of stuff has not been going as quickly as I would have assumed it would. And that's normal. That's normal for streaming projects. There's nothing special about that. But what we're working on is a modular, it's not really all that modular to be honest, but it's a testing Euro rack setup, I'll say. It looks like a module, and I could certainly make it into a module if I put it all on a circuit board and I break down some of the breakouts. If I break down some of the breakouts and make them just chip on board, I could probably fit all this stuff into one big design, but I'm not going to do that because I would rather actually build it and get it done. We're working on hardware. There's going to be a big software component to it, but we've only just finished doing the power supply. The power supply is quite special because this is a test setup. I need to be able to plug in a sick module or a module that's untuned and make sure that it is either drawing current or not drawing too much current. Those are the criteria. It doesn't really need to be all that accurate, but I need to see what voltages I'm putting in to see if we overdraw a module and a voltage drops and what currents are going into those voltages. So we have 3 voltage and current monitors on the front. Because of the design of the power supply modules and the fact that I don't want to double up on these expensive power supply modules means that all of the grounds here are shared. And as such, the monitors that you can buy that are digital like this are all low side drivers because that's cheaper electronics and it's lower voltage. They don't really like to do high side monitoring. Well, that posed its own set of problems, and I had to do a bunch of research about that. It turns out you can convert a low side current monitor into a high side current monitor because all they're doing is using V equals IR to turn current into voltage, into microvolts that the analog input of a microcontroller senses. And so I characterized that, and I found a circuit, and I put it together with obsolete and expensive parts, and it turns out the slightly cheaper, not obsolete parts were the ones I should have been using. I flipped to these like 2 days ago, and everything has gone swimmingly since then. This is an INA 169 current monitor. You can buy them in little breakout boards. You can buy them with RC connectors on either ends because they're used a lot of the time for drone stuff. Drone stuff being, you know, like a big category of electronics. We do low side monitoring. I can't do the low side monitoring because I have one set of, like, this makes the plus 12, this makes the 5 volts, this makes the minus 12, and it goes to the rest of the testing circuit. And as such, I can't isolate the testing circuit out from the one power plug. I can do it on minus 12 because minus 12 is a low side, but I can't do it on positive 12 and positive 5. So what I do is I convert it using an INA169, which is almost exactly what we found earlier, which is just an amplifier chip with that can function at higher voltages, and it ends up doing all its amplify stuff and outputting a voltage on the end. So INA169 is the name, and it works quite well. So that solved that problem at my utter lowest point. I was ready to give up on the project. I was having all those doubts seep in, but that rescued it. And so here we are. We did a bunch of Fusion 360 yesterday, and we designed a side panel that is going to hold a bunch of doodads. So now I have the printout of that side panel. We need to check over all of our work and make sure that things fit properly, because this is the first print. This is the first print of this design, and there are already problems. The main problem being that this switch not really held in all that much. We did measure it, and we had it measured so that it would squish down on the tabs a little bit, but it turns out we need to be a little bit more aggressive with that. So that's an easy fix. We'll fix that soon. First, we need to look at all the other plugs. Now, MIDI, I'm actually kind of happy with. I know, one dollop of hot glue, or I can wait 40 minutes for another print. I mean, come on. I'd rather do that instead of hot glue. This MIDI plug fits. Okay, let's get a little closer. Let's get a little closer here. Kids, why don't you scooch a little bit? My support is not great on the 3D printer, but we designed this so that this side of the panel didn't need to be all that good. This is a little bit shocking, but it'll be all right. So yeah, the MIDI plug, what we designed based on our measurements, is like perfect. This thing slots in. Okay, if I can get it right. Slots in, it doesn't twist, and then it has a nice satisfying click. I could narrow that just a little bit, because this might not be, that might unplug if I really harass it with a MIDI plug. It's kind of tough. It's a nice thud. We'll tighten it up just a little bit. So both of these need to be tightened up just a bit. There's no side play in any of this stuff. How about up and down? Yeah, no play in anything. So most of the dimensions were pretty darn good. Now we need to put in my lowered supports for the circuit board and see if all of the USB crap lines up. You can jam stuff through the slots on the back to stop it from pulling out. Oh, you mean like in there? I don't really have like shims to put in that stuff. I'd rather just size it properly. No, I'm just gonna size it properly and do the print again. This is 3D printed plastic. This thing cost me like 2 cents. I'll just make it again. I just narrow it in CAD, make it again. Look at the title today. It's called Iterative Design, and it is a phase, Mom. Damn, you guys are too frugal. We've got shims at home. Shims at home. Freaking dollar store aficionados. We're classier here. We're classist. I mean, classier. Where did the other support go? Wait, I printed 2 of these things. Oh, there it is. There it is. All right. Damn, you guys. I could use glue and tape to make this whole thing in the first place. I could have carved this out of a bar of soap. But no, I have a 3D printer. I'm just going to use it. Class out the ass. Class out the ass. All right, so in order to undo the front of the circuit board, I actually have to remove this panel. I did not kind of consider the mechanic in this case. I didn't really take the human into consideration when putting this whole thing together, but oh well, we're just kind of playing around with types of design here. I could have also made this panel fit into the grooves, but I decided against that for this for some reason. The side panel will fit into the grooves, just like with the computer project. And I found that works pretty well. It holds the panels, and the dimensions that I give it are usually okay. Why do I have 3 screws, but I've only removed 2? Something is awry. But so far, so good with this panel. So far, so good. We just have to do the rest of the fitment, and then we'll put everything into CAD, and I'll start that other print, and we can start thinking about the top deck, and finally put the power supply to rest. To rest. Wait, no, to rest. Unplugging these is a bit of an adventure. I got to be careful, too, because the crimps aren't as good as they could be, and as such, they will pull the wire will pull out from the socket, and then I need to like recrimp the whole thing. It's a big mess, and I just don't want to deal with that. I am no professional crimper. Owie, that hurt a lot. You did the thing. Don't you love those things that you just like can't motivate yourself to do, but then when you finally go to do it, it takes 5 seconds? Hey, what's up, Pyro? How you doing? We're doing a Saturday stream. We're hanging out. We're not being all that motivated. Well, actually, Kavorka is being motivated because I had specific instructions to motivate them. So, but we're chilling, maxing, relaxing, and testing out these prints to see that they work. That all my measurements were okay, which is shocking if they were. So far, they've been actually pretty good. Giving all the clearances that I gave, I was very generous with clearancing things, which is good on a front panel. Although when you're, boy oh boy, when you're making a front panel from metal, it is just obnoxious. You got to under clearance everything and then test fit and file and test fit and file it, and you just spend a whole day with files. I think in the future, if I ever have to do like a metal panel or something, I'm gonna 3D print the panel and like overlay it. Measure once, print many times. Yeah, that's the thing. I don't know if I'll ever have to do a metal panel for anything anymore. I do have that one enclosure that's like a slightly angled electronics project enclosure that I could maybe use for some stuff. I updated KiCad, changed one chip on the schematic, that's it. Oh, because you're trying to be productive on the VFD clock PCB? Well, you're making way more progress with those VFD tubes than I am. Or whatever the VFD stuff is. Because I have a bunch of those VFD tubes that I would love to use for something, but it's going to be a lot of work. I need to make PCBs for it. It's just too much wiring otherwise. All right, so new standoffs, who dis? So we get rid of this, and I put on the new ones. The sensible and frugal thing to do is to get a water jet cutter, yes. I've seen YouTubers do that. It's like, where did you make all your money? Please tell me where you made all your money. How did you get a water jet cutter? How? How? AV Fusion. Sub for 2 months. Love me Saturday tinkering. Hell yeah. That's where we cut our teeth. Well, no, it's not like you can't like, ow, my teeth are cut. No, but it's where we all started off. Sitting down on a Saturday and going, I have nothing to do. And then starting to work on things, build things even. All right, so, oh, I left the old dimensions on here. Whoops-a-daisy. Well, there's always something. Yeah, that will not go into there. These holes are too small. So I need to get the drill and just drill them out. They've got many sidewall layers, so they should be just fine after drilling. And I believe from the last time I did this, because I didn't put my stuff away properly, I still have all the drill bits right here. Yes, I do. So let's find the size of this thing. And I want to be undersized so that the threads actually grip. I could probably put a nut underneath it too. The mouse wasn't moving because there was a wire under the mouse. There we go. AV Fusion for 2 months. Thank you for the 2 months. My last commit was 2 months ago for that VFD clock. Oh no, not done anything in 2 months. You know, it happens. Don't beat yourself up. Or maybe that's how you get yourself motivated. I don't know about this size. I don't know if this will be, I guess so. It's not going to be a lot of pressure because I mean, those are very similar. They're very close to each other, but I guess it'll screw in nicely. But it might slip when it gets to tightening, which isn't that big of a deal in this system. So I guess we'll just use that. We'll just use that. Load that up into the thingy. I don't need to use a full drill for this. I can use the little screwdriver-y guy, which is fun to use, so why not? Bonk. What's that, Kavorka? Hold on, I gotta click over to that. Under the Create Stream, scroll to midway and uncheck the Live Reactions box. Oh, I'll have to look at that, yeah. I'm not going to mess with that right now because it's not... I'm busy. I'm busy doing stuff. Get some light. So this is just like an auto screwdriver, and it's actually kind of fun to use for drilling stuff, getting these little shuck heads. It's That's what I call you guys. You guys are a bunch of shuckheads. Oh, that immediately drilled it? That's suspicious. Suspicious. Wait, why did that one immediately drill and then that one was a big struggle? Oh, I might actually need to go wider than that. I see, I see. I need to go larger than this. That was my nickname in college. Yeah, I was calling me a shuckhead. Yeah, the shuck for the screwdriver. This thing is fun because it's like gyroscopic. It probably uses an accelerometer, but you can go really slow with it. Or fast, but not too fast. So it's pretty good. I'm glad I was gifted it by Mahalo. I did not buy it. I didn't buy it. Disclaimer, I didn't buy it. What sizes do I have here? Oh, this one has gray plastic on it, so this might actually be the size that I used in the end. I mean, that seems like it's way too big, but it is probably the right size to use. This one seems to be a little bit more narrow, albeit way longer. I'll use this first and see if that's the right one. Ah! Just bought one. The cool thing with this is when you use it for modular synthesizers. If I feel like redoing my entire panel, this thing will remove screws like nothing. Oh, the shuck, not the driver. Okay. I was like, damn, that's a big purchase. I won't go to say anything. I feel very far away from what I'm drilling. That's probably too big. I probably ruined the part. Oh, that's a nice little grit. Oh, that's a nice. Oh, that feels nice. Never mind. Never mind. That felt good. Yeah, that's exactly the size that I needed. And I probably should have edited the part, but... Hello? Hello? What the fuck? Oh! There's no hole! What the... Wait a minute. Huh? There was no hole. Well, now I need to do the overrun on the back here. Yeah, there was never a hole. It's a straight back and forth on the infill. It just went straight over it. Weird. I'll have to re-examine my parts and make sure that the CAD models are up to snuff. Ooh, that's all messed up there too. That's all right. All this is still usable. As long as there's something to grip. I'm gonna put this thing away before I knock it over and break another drill bit. That's how they always break, is I'd use the regular drill and I'd put it down like this and then it would fall over and snap the drill bit. It's happened to me many, many times. Many, many times that I do not wish to relive. No, don't drop. Oh, that was on the ground. I just dropped the header on the ground. I'm a fool. All right, let's get this back up here to the top desk. Put this all together. 1042. Oh boy, there's a number. 1024 was a big milestone. So is this going to stick out of the bottom? Oh my God, it's actually level with the bottom. That is unplanned, but extremely satisfying. I can make all kinds of jokes there, but I'm not going to. You guys get the integrity of me not making those jokes, even though I probably should. And also, I probably need to move these holes a little closer to each other. They're right on the outsides of these, of these. The model that I got off of GrabCAD for this board was not specifically of this board, it was of this type of board. And so there's different runs and different little revisions on this type of board. And so I probably need to do a couple edits Like, look at that. That is definitely not the way it should be. It should be flat. But we can live with it for right now. That's what this whole project is. It's an exercise in living with it. You just got to live with it. I need to trim that a little bit. I guess both of the ones that I printed didn't have a hole in the back end. I'll have to investigate and figure out what went on. Something weird with the different steps in the timeline, probably. Okay, that's nice and clean. Power bulge. It's like that YouTube power thirst, right? Rawberry. I had a roommate that was obsessed with that stuff. All those early YouTube things, early memes. Ah, that kind of hurts. Big thing like this. Oh, no, wrong size. Slightly smaller. It's good to have the size of hex wrench driver thingy for standoffs. The screwdriver kits have them too, but that just takes a little bit more setup. I just have this on the magnet hanger at all times, and it helps keep me from having cramped up hands. Cramped up hands. Crayons. Yeah, so if I keep tightening this, it'll just kind of slip, but that'll grip it enough that, you know, moving this thing around, it won't get loose. So I can put these into service and then edit the models just in case I need to print out another set. But for now, I think these are permanently the plastic pieces that I'm going to use to hold the power supply up. Let's get all this out of the way. So we can put the power supply in here like this. And it fits, even though the thing is a little bit distorted from the bend in the plastic. It still kind of fits, and when I tighten it down, it'll go back into its regular shape. It's just there's a little pressure on those holes. So I could do all the edits and then print out a replacement. I'm just going to live with this for right now. Actually, we're going to do the edits right now, just so I don't forget, because otherwise I will forget and then everything will be bad. So what we need to do is go to my CAD program, and I need to go to the bottom plate, and then I need to move the soda, this giant glass of soda, very, very far away, where I will not knock it over with my hand. There we go. Okay, a little safer. So how am I going to do this? How am I going to end up getting this to be... God damn it, get out of the way of the mouse. I hate it when stuff gets under the mouse. I got so much stuff on the desk right now. Okay. I based this off of this model, and that hole is a little bit too far out. So how can I fix this? I need to move it probably like maybe about 1 millimeter to the left, maybe a little less than that. And then all of the holes need to be based on that. I need to go back into the original model and I need to alter it. So perf board 5x7, or is it 8x12? I think it's 8x12 is what we're looking at. Perf board 8x12, and there's nothing. Good day to you, sir. Oh, there we go. I was watching the latest Cranktown City video, and he was using Fusion 360, which was pretty cool to see. But he didn't change the appearance of anything. And I went, man, you really need to learn about where the appearance menu is. And then it turns out he was using sheet metal, so it was all the same anyway. The appearance was not inaccurate. Okay, so this is just a body. This is just a body? That's strange. It seems like it's individual like things, but it's all just surfaces that have different material properties, so there's nothing I can really do to change it. That moves the entire board. I guess I can bore a hole over top of it. Gray and beautiful. That's very strange. What do I do here? Huh? Like, what do we get? Press, pull, edit face, fillet, chamfer, shell, draft, scale. No. Offset face. I don't think that'll move a hole over. Split body, silhouette split, align, center, etc. Volumetric lattice. No. Press pull just widens and narrows. Hey, what's up, blah, 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 blah. Commander Kellogg's? How you doing? Can I move a hole to the side? Fusion, let's see if there's, I don't think there's a way to do this. Move a hole. How to move a hole on a design. How to move the location of a hole on a design, Fusion 360. If the hole was made from extruding a sketch, no. If the hole was made from a feature from the Create tab, right-click on the hole feature from the timeline. I can't do that either. All right, so much for that. How did I extrude those? I think maybe I have it in a sketch over here, and we can just divorce it from the sketch. Yes, okay. So if I take that and I remove this, so we unconstrain it. Which one is that? Unfix. I think I can click on it and hit delete. Yeah, there it is. Delete. Oh, keep going. Delete. There we go. And that moved to the outside, and I'll bring all its buddies along. And then if I do... What? Hey, what just happened? Oh, I just hit a button that put it in. No, stop it. What are you doing? Wait, where'd the sketch go? What's going on here? Is my keyboard freaking out? All right, I'm still here. I hit the A button and I thought I wanted to go into the appearance menu. Right-click on it in the timeline, rest in peace. Yeah, right? So 1.8, but what is my actual, what are the holes going to be? They need to be, where's the standoff? Here's one of them. Ah, shit. Okay, hold on. Here's a standoff, just sitting on the desk, and do a little bit of this, a little bit of that. 2.5 is the size of the fastener, so I'm going to make these 2.2. 2.2, and then we're going to offset that here to here. That should have been a construction line, but we'll give that a distance, and I'm going to make that 1 millimeter off. 1 millimeter seems like a lot. How far off was it in this? Let me unscrew this and just take a look. So it is definitely fudge made. Hold on one sec. Wait, where's there we go. Origin 0 millimeter on off. Oh wait, hold on. Look at that little guy right there. Oh, it looks like we need to go up and out. Well, actually, the out part is just, that's just the result of parallax. Yeah, it is centered on the right spot. It's just malleable. 1 millimeter, is that too much to ask this thing, or is it going to be a 0.5 millimeter? What does that distance look like? It does look like that's a full millimeter that I would need to move. How big is a millimeter? What's a millimeter between friends? Leave a millimeter for the Lord. All right, that's approximately a millimeter. I think a millimeter is a pretty safe bet, to be honest. This is also off by a lot more because the other hole isn't centered properly. So if I unscrew the other one, maybe we can get a better impression of where this thing sits. Hold on. I'm going to unscrew the other one. So now that that's flat, I guess I'm going to go with a millimeter. I think the millimeter might be the safe bet. Yeah, we'll give it a millimeter. All right, so that means that both of them are moving in by a millimeter. That might be too much. I'll go with half. I'll go with half. I said I would do 1, but I'll go 0.5 because both of them are moving in by that distance. 0.5, and that moves everybody over except one of them's still not moved. What are you doing? Although, why are there two? This one shouldn't be here. Oh, wait, those are features of the previous design. So we'll have to clean that up. That's just gonna be a weird thing. 2.2, which happens to be the size of this thing, huh? And then we delete all of this stuff. Yeah, the way I originally designed this is with a bunch of troughs, a bunch of slots rather, and the sleuths ended up having their own rounded features. Wrong one. Oh, come on. Clicking on like layered stuff. Control, hold, look for the sketch line. It's that one. I want a distance on that. There we go. And then the distance is 0.5. Half a millimeter in for both of those. Now I need to actually locate them. Why is that Oh, crap. Control Z. I need to give that a diameter. So what is the diameter here? It's 8. So I need to give that D for distance or diameter and give it the number 8. There. That's a little confusing, and I probably should have designed this a little different, but here we are. Give that an 8. I have to type it myself. Finish the sketch, and now we need to fix whatever the hell is happening here. So I need to take this extrusion, and I need to give it all of the information on what exactly I'm trying to accomplish here. So we're not doing that one. We're doing this one. Let's view that from underneath. It'll be a little bit easier. This one, and then the leading edge. And is everybody in? That looks like everybody's in. Oh, this one is also still confused. It's still confused. This one. And then what in the hell's going on there? How complicated. All right, this one. And I think that gets it. Oh no, it's still very messed up. What the heck? Wait, what is this? Oh my God. I went through too many iterations on this thing and it's cursed. It's utterly cursed. Okay, which one's being extruded here? This one. Okay, so we fixed this one. Oh my God. See what I mean about the CAD program kind of like makes assumptions? Happy Saturday. Yeah, how's it going? Makes mistakes. We're doing a bit of a Saturday stream. Sometimes we stream here. We do that thing every now and then. Man, I have old orbitals stuck in my head. Which one is actually, it's the one that moves in. So this is the one that we want to add to it. And that'll make our nice little circle in our little double vision, double circle thing that looks a little weird. Is that correct? Is that going to make a round thing? I think so. Go back over to, see this one, then when I extruded the base, I didn't give it the hole. So I need to give it the hole when I extrude this thing, which is here. And so I'm taking this one and this one with me to make a full circle, except with whatever the hell's going on up there. I will have to correct that. That one is correct. Oh no, that's not correct. Oh, this one. God, it's like the cursed Venn diagram. Like all the features were there. Why are they like overwritten? So let's see, we got that one. We are not doing that one. Click OK. And then in this step, we're doing this one. That one is correct. Click OK. And then in this step, we're doing that one. Und that one. That's all good. Even though for some reason there's material there. Why is that there? Look okay. Where's that one? That's for something else. So then why did it screw up all this stuff? What else is going on here? It should be... Oh, that's the wrong one. So it should be this one. There we go. That's looking good. Looking normal, not looking freaky at all. Check the other one. Looking normal, not looking freaky. Consider that corrected. So we got the whole size and we moved them in a little bit more. That was a little bit more like pulling teeth than I had wanted it to be. We did something fancy with slots that made like a nice rounded leg that would come off of it at like 45 degrees. And because I wanted to smash this up against the side of everything, I got rid of that. But it left behind some features on the sketch that basically define this 8mm circle a second time. So I didn't delete those. I probably could have turned them into construction lines. Maybe that would have done. Maybe that would have unconfused the program. But either way, now I have a part that I can print two of, and they're symmetrical, so I don't need to actually print these as two separate things, and it will locate our board properly. I don't need to print those right now. I've altered the ones that I already have to work just fine in that function, so we'll continue to use these, even though they might actually lead to some board misalignment, to be honest. All right, fine, we're going to print these. They're misaligning my board. You saw it twist just then. It needs to be perfect. Save as mesh. Okay. Save it. Open up their slicer. Oh wait, already exists. Yes, overwrite. Sluicer. I'm gonna make this into a sluice. I can't get away from it, you know? It's like, this is fine. No, it's not fine, because all of the little errors are going to compound upon one another, and I'll end up tearing my hair out wondering why nothing is correct. And it turns out it was me all along. My inability to shrug off imperfection. Okay, so we're doing that, and the printer was turned off overnight, so I'm going to jump over to here. And if we're lucky, no, never mind. No, it didn't like it. So I'm going to turn on the printer and hit connect. And if we're lucky, we will get a serial number from it. And that will mean that it's fully, yeah, PEBCAC. All right, come on now. The RC car projects are really get me like that. It's me, I'm here. No, I'm Spartacus. The RC car projects really annoyed me with that, because I did a lot of reverse engineering of parts that were like very cursed models. They had a lot of weird features to them that you have to kind of follow in line. And since you're not necessarily building a tolerance into all of those features and you don't know what their original numbers were, you're trying to decode that. But eventually it got so complicated that I would try to design a part for the RC car and it would not fit, or something would be completely different from what I had done in CAD. And I don't know why it turned out that way. I got very, very frustrated with it. Very frustrated. And then it turns out that they misdrilled some of the holes of one of the aftermarket parts, one of the carbon fiber parts. The holes were off by like 0.5 millimeter. Clipper is connecting. I just booted up the Clipper side of things, so I don't know if this will properly clip. It's faster if I just reboot the Pi. Unfortunately, it gets really confused. I don't know why it does that. I'm sure there's a workaround on it, but I just haven't figured out what it is. I don't know what it is. So I got to do a full reboot, and then we'll hit print, and it'll just print because it's PETG, and I don't need to do anything. I barely need to clean the print surface. It just does its job. It's great. Try to reconnect. Try to reconnect. We fell out of sorts. Please, come back to me, printer. It'll take a little longer than this. I probably shouldn't have had spicy chicken sandwiches for lunch. The burps are nuclear. They're destroying me slowly from the inside out. All right, come on. Oh, you're connected and you just didn't tell me. Neat. Stand by, stand by, stand by, stand by. Connect. There's our firmware version. And so if I hit BL touch down, here, we can look here. You guys might not, well, you'll see it, you'll see the LED come on. So BL touch down, click. Oh no, you can't see the LED. Why did it just reboot? What the hell? BL touch up, click, down, click, up, click. The web page like reloaded for some reason while I was looking at it. Very strange. Okay, anyway, away you go. Oh no, I just minimized the program that I meant to go back to. Too much stuff open. Oh, there's a doorbell just went off. Hold on. Overlays, BRB. Hold on, be right back. My glucose level's ridiculous, huh? Oh, this is just going to another one. Here, I gotta take Willow outside real quick. So I'm gonna put up walkies and I'm gonna move this closer. There's stuff on the cable, hold on. I haven't done this in a little while, but I'm the only one here right now, and I have a feeling the dog needs a little bit of a walkie. So you guys are gonna watch the printer while I take the dog for a little walkie poo. This is not a track that I wanted to have play. Hold on. And then, let's see. Oh, I gotta cover over those white cloth things. Here, let's see about doing this. It doesn't do a great job, but it covers it a little. And I'll juice up the camera a little bit. Let's see, the gain, camera control, put that to 5. 5 is probably good. That's kind of a messy wall there. And then I'm gonna hit start print. Let's get you guys a better angle, actually. I don't have much of a better angle here. I can lower the tripod, though. Here, I know what I can do. I can just lay the tripod down. Just lay it on down. There we go. More like it. That's not gonna lay flat, is it? It's gonna do whatever it wants, is what it's gonna do. I'm gonna take the dog for a short walk, because we're here alone. So I figure I should be kind to my four-legged friend. There you go. And then I'm gonna hit start print on this thing. You can put up Octoprint as an overlay. Let's see, no computer, threat, walkies. No, that's not it. We have a Willow over there. There's Willow. Skeleton? No, we don't need my skeleton exploding. Let's see. Fork? No, we don't need a forklift. Where's the Mr. Freaker? Oh, you know what? I might not be connected. Why is that so juiced up? Those legs should be a lot slower. No. No, we don't need any of that. All right, I'm gonna take the dog for a quick little walkie. You guys can watch this printer do its thing. I'll be right back. Sorry about this. She ran away. Willow, come here. Come on, Bubby. You want to do tricks? You want some treats? She went upstairs. She's gone. I lost the dog. She doesn't want to hang out. It's your fault, Chad. It's not my fault. This one's on you. Willow, come on downstairs. She just hates it down here when I'm speaking to the furniture. She really dislikes the racket. She likes her quiet. She might have gone up to my bedroom to sleep on a pile of clothes. Bubby. Nah, I think we lost her. Well, how much longer are these things going to take? Willow's very cute. She is the cutest. She is a very cute puppy. That out of there. Let's get this out of there. And then walkies. We're printing. This thing says 20 minutes. That is an obnoxious amount of time. We can test fit in the meantime and just see if everything's where it needs to be. I took her on a quick walk. There were kids out on little bikes, and the last time she saw kids on bikes, she scared them to death because she growled and barked at them. A little corgi, but these are like toddlers, so it's appropriate. She's a big dog to a toddler. So I walked her around. She didn't do anything like peeing or pooping or anything like that. And then she wanted to go chew on a stick in the neighbor's yard. And I'm like, I don't have time for this puppy. We got to go back inside. So I grabbed her and I scooped her up and I brought her down here to say hi to everybody. But again, she does not like it down here. I don't know what it is. I think she just wants to sleep this afternoon. So she's probably upstairs by now or just outside of the basement. So that's what she does. She's getting older. She doesn't like the racket anymore. I do wish I could have a stream with her just napping in the background, but you know, if she felt like it, she could come down here, and she's got a whole bed set up under my desk. You can see all that crap down there with my exclusive Twitch partner blanket. I saw one Twitch streamer that had been like hospitalized, and they had that partner blanket on them in the hospital bed. And I'm like, that's where my dog sleeps. But yeah, she's got that little bed set up under my desk that she does use every now and then, but I do wish she would come down and just curl up there, because I could definitely dedicate a camera to her. You know, depending on what happens in the future, I might be able to do like a front door Willow cam or something like that. I really need to exploit this dog for views. Anyway, we're working on the modular synthesizer testing module. I have a print coming out right now that is a slight resizing of all of this stuff. And I don't know if is that print failing or is it doing okay? It looks like it lifted in the back there, but I think that might be the perimeter. What is up with the jankiness too? I see like jagged edges. Yeah, so this is printing. It's printing in PETG. My PETG is pretty darn good at creating stuff, brackets in particular. So with the new measurements in there, this should stress it a little less and distort it a little less. Overall, things should probably be in about the same position as before with the slightly off print. So we will test fit our panel, the side panel we designed yesterday, and see how that's going. I mean, you guys should expect from the title that this is going to be an iterative process, which takes a lot of time because my 3D printer is not a replicator, and it takes some time for it to wibble around the head and squidge out plastic from its butt. Damn you, dog! Don't you know how much money I can make off of how cute you are? With those little ears and those happy expressions. Why can't you be happier? No, she likes to nap in the afternoon, so my doing all of the silly voices and gesticulating around and dropping things on the floor are very much not what she's looking for in her afternoons, which is it's annoying because it would be really fun and funny. Like if I was like one of those bedroom streamers and I had like my bed sitting right behind me, having her just lounging on the bed, that's all I need out of a streamer, right? That's all I need. Like when Funhouse would have Benson on, I would be like neuron activated, right? That's all I need to see is a dog comfortable in the presence of streamer. We've had that in the past. That actually has happened in the past. But yeah, no, she's taken it just not participating in all the commotion. There are 900 layers of screws preventing me from sliding this panel into position. What the hell? Where do I get at this? I guess from the bottom, which means a lot of this stuff. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh my God. If I undo these two. Okay, so that's going to slide if I leave it to its own devices. I think I need the version of this that's a little bit more narrow. Is that going to work? Yeah, okay. So with a narrow one, and then I release this one. My cat gets concerned when I talk to people online. Yeah, it's, I mean, I'm like, if you look at the grand scheme, the dogs and cats don't understand what broadcasting is. They don't even understand what projects are. They just don't, they don't see things on that level. And so the interpretation of what I'm doing right now, the best I can come up with is that I am somehow mercurially yelling at the furniture. So I think it is actually a good instinct for her to flee and to go where it's quiet. I don't blame her for that instinct. This is just going to be all over the place, isn't it? Here, you just move for now, and we'll put the panel in and then slide this into place. There's going to be a whole order of operations to this thing, I guess. What is going on with this? Let go! Jeez. Okay, you go there. That goes there. Okay, now we can get the rest of this free. So it's going to be these four. And then that should, oh no, then I got to get this one. This is complicated. I may have overbuilt this in a few places. The subway was hot today. Does it get hot in the subway? I always thought you get that cool underground air. It was hot out today. It was like I'm sweating right now. And that was just like a quick little outing. She didn't get to do anything though. I don't know if maybe I need to take her again so that she can actually like pee and poop. I think she'll be all right. She's in afternoon dog mode right now. All right, so this might be a little bit too big for the gap. That seems to hold it pretty tightly though. I mean, look at that fit. Look at that fit. Oh! Hold on. Wait a minute. Oh, the heat the trains put off make that effectively useless. Useless. Subway stations are almost always 8 to 15 degrees hotter than outside. Damn. In Fahrenheit. Fahrenheit. Let's see. That looks pretty good for that lining up. Looks like there's a little bit of space there. So I need to get, oh my God, there's fasteners just falling all over the place. Oh, this needs to have the 2 in it that just dropped off. This is our first test of this print. There are no guarantees. Other than that, there are no guarantees except that there are no guarantees. What? Huh? What did you just, wait, what? Oh God, these things are like impossible to line up after they've been removed. Because they're square and they fit in the trough pretty tightly. I think I'm just gonna have to like undo them fully. It's easier this way, I think. It does need to slide into place though, because it's got a grip onto that. So I'll have to slide them a little bit, but not too much. Because if I undo them, then I'm in trouble. I'm gonna line everything up again. 3D print seems to have taken the first layer, and as long as the first layer goes on, I'm confident that the rest of the print will be fine. I guess I can grab a MIDI cable from across the shop and plug it in a few times and see if it'll work its way out of our little system here. But so far, the fit is pretty good. We'll just see what the rest of this brings to the table. I'm still undoing fasteners. I'm trying not to drop everything everywhere. Thing is, whenever I do Maker Beam, things drop everywhere. What do you think we're up to? It's the same crap we've been working on for 3 months. This is the side panel that we designed yesterday, and I'm fitting it onto the module testing module. How could you not be? It's all we've been doing. This is it. I don't have variety. Are you kidding me? This is just a follow-up from yesterday's stream, though. I figure we'll keep it nice and easy. And I'll figure out some of that layout stuff over the weekend, maybe. Or if this stuff goes incredibly well, unexpectedly so, then we can get to trying to lay out some of the electronics for the digital part of the module. Testing module. Tester. Oh, dear God, this is a lot harder than I thought it would be. This is just like layers of annoying. Ah, that's very nice. All right, so my X and Y's seem to be aligned well enough, or there's just enough wiggle room. Son of a bitch. Come on. I could probably put the 3D printer up on the screen too. Hold on, let's do, where's that BTS overlay? MS Paint, microscope, serial, chat overlay, scroll down to this. What happened? What happened? Did something error out? What happened? Your printer's firmware reported an error due to the ongoing print. CAN 0 shutdown. God damn it, it's doing that stuff again. Ugh, reboot the whole system. Now I gotta recover this. Every now and then, and it's usually when it's priming, it will have some kind of like a flub where CAN bus times out. And some kind of instruction comes in out of order. So now I need to lift this up again. I'm not too worried about the gantry getting bent because it tends to self-correct, and this thing has a procedure that it runs that will level it out. Man, this thing was like close to being done too. All right, let's get the big spatula just to force this stuff off of the bed. Since I'm not worried about bending the prints, because they are now certainly bent. That. Now we're ready to go again, I guess. Again. Ooh, that's kind of warm. See if I can't get the boogers off of it first. Hey, ow, that's kind of warm. All right, I'm going to use my old wire strippers because they've got the claw front that I like. Give me this. Give me this. All right, so we'll start that up again once everything's done rebooting. God damn it. That's a 20-minute print. Try to get you guys a little higher of an angle, I think. 20 minutes lost to time. There, that's the ideal spot. Although this thing settles weird because it's literally a tripod sitting on its side. Every time I move you guys, it settles a little differently because of the weight distribution. That's a little better. All right, well, here we go again. Satana. Is this thing reloaded? Yeah, connect. Feck. BL touchdown. Cool. Cannot update the MCU config as it's shut down. What? What does that even, what, huh? Clear log. Restart the host. Mine would do that. It was a bad ground wire. From what I looked into some of the logs last time, because this happens every now and then, and it's usually like an instruction coming in out of order. It's something to do with like timings in the MCU. The typical time that it happens is when it's doing the long bed leveling, and so something will time out. But then every now and then this will happen like once or twice, every blue moon, and I don't think it's something physical. Most of the wires are relatively new on the printer. I've re-upped like a lot of the stuff, but what speed is your CAN bus running at? I don't remember. I don't know these details. I don't actually know. Joke's on you, I have no idea. But, you know, I made sure all the connections were really good. There's even a ferrule on some of them. There's a cobweb on it. I don't know. I'm going to restart this guy so it clears the error. And then we'll see if we can't reconnect. What is this? Is this a giant magnet? What is this doing over here? What is this huge magnet doing right here? Why are you here? Move this back over with all the other magnets. Why is that there? Go. That's like a genuinely big magnet. All right, so let's try to connect. There we go. BL touch down. Still. Firmware restart. Oh, okay. Restart firmware. Try that. Yeah, I hit the wrong button. Clipper state ready. Down. Click. Up. Click. Okay. So trying again. Again. I'll just resend. Oh, which one? Which one could it be? Let's close the old one. There we go. Okay, so this one's the one I'm sending. Send it. Good. That's the wrong one. There it is. Bonk. Bonk. Then it wiggles its little thingy-wingy and gets the initial test of height. It's going to do that many more times, but the next step for it is going to be, once it heats up, it's going to do the left and right, and that'll get the gantry from being crooked. It'll still be a tiny bit crooked, but how modded is the printer? Most of the connecting stuff is my own design. I have a big 3D model of a CR10S that I modified, made a bunch of 3D printed solids for, 3D printed them, and then put them into effect. So I've turned it into linear bearings and 3D printed sort of connective tissue of my own design, which is a little concerning because if the bed craps out, if something happens to the bed, the design of that base piece is like modified. So everything, it's like a one-off kind of thing. I'd have to like get a new printer, I guess. But I mean, those Bamboo Labs printers are looking pretty cool. But one of the cool things that I mean to get back to when we can get back to modifying 3D printers is to have a CPAP pump, a CPAP air pump. It's a little 3-phase blower motor, do the cooling. And, you know, I need to make ducting around the nozzle, but do the cooling, and that way it'll still be quiet, and it'll be able to do all of that beautiful 3D print bridging and whatnot. All right, so this looks pretty good. I got the power button right here where I can gouge my finger on this screw. I was going to say, like, maybe I should set that in a little bit so it's even, and maybe I'll still do that, like inset this just a little bit so it's even with this outside piece, but like I'm gonna gouge my finger on this screw if I do that. Well, maybe that's just part of the price of playing the game. So now, and I'll stand it back up again in just a second, what I'm gonna do is sit this thing down on the screws and see if it slides into place. It's been a minute since I've seen an ender with linear rails. I don't know what everybody's doing nowadays, but I have a printer that works, and it's a very basic little thing. It's an old printer, but I didn't want to make buying new 3D printers my goddamn hobby. Oh, wow, everything's off. This is why we call it iterative, folks. This is why we call it that. Now, the question is, will printing this again align things? Do I need to lower the circuit board more? Look at how far off that is. Holy shit. The USB looks like it's in the right spot, but my my barrel plug is definitely off. Well, this is also crooked. If I uncrooked it, there we go. A little janky. USB looks like it's in the right spot. It might be a little bit off. I can give it a slightly larger gap to compensate. The barrel jack needs to go up and to the left by a factor of quite a bit. I had measured it too. I've measured it a lot. Up by 2.5. Left by, I'm going to say, that's not 1.7. We're going to say 2.5, 1.3. Although this seems to be in the right spot, so I guess I got this position overall wrong. So we go all the way back to this step right here. And I'm just going to blatantly move it. This by 2.5. Oops. And this way, 1.3. I don't know if that'll do it. We'll find out. Well, it does look like it looks a lot better in the slot there. I don't know. Were all my measurements completely off? The answer would shock you. It's yes. My reprinter. I can't read today. I don't know what's wrong with my brain. My printer requires a lot of work to make it functional every print. It's an OG Ender 3 Pro. Only mods are custom cooling fans and a silent motor driver board. Those are important. Those are very important to me. Lots of issues with consistency. I have not had those issues. Fadanon linked me to a tuning guide that works extraordinarily well for Clipper and whatever the hell else I'm using in order to make this thing function. The modifications include, though, that direct drive front end and the linear rails. And the combination of those two makes this extremely repeatable and extremely accurate. It was a big upgrade. It brought me into the 21st century of printing direct drive technology. Yeah, there it is, the Ellis 3DP. Thank you. Actually, we need to make that into a command. Let me do like print guide. I'm going to do adcom print guide. Like that. Adding the comment error. Oh. You know, sometimes I think a lot like me, and it leads things to happen where I forget that I've set a command that is the exact same command that I would come up with on the fly if I was asked to set a command for something like a print guide. And then I say, well, if I were to come up with something like a print guide 6 months ago command, I would probably call it print guide, and then I would have it linked to the print guide. And then it turns out that I did that, and that I linked it, the print guide command, to the print guide that would give you the guide for the printing. Yeah. PETG also means that I don't need an actual part cooling fan. All I need is a hot end heat break fan, which the anemic Noctua does pretty good. It's actually just okay, and it continues to make my printer run just fine. I upgraded to CAN bus, which gives it a whole nother level of inconsistent errors, but it means that only 4 wires exit this thing and go all the way back to the controller. 4 wires from that, and then there's the 4 wires for each motor that goes back to the main controller. So the DB37 is actually pulling a lot more weight than it really should. And someday I'm going to be a maniac, and I will turn the Hymeria hot end into a water-cooled hot end. I'll put it in the milling machine and flatten out all the metal for the heat sink and shove one of those Amazon water cooling blocks onto it, and then I'll run tubes all the way back. And DB37 should have some quick connect tubes, but that day is not today. I would love to figure out PETG bed that's also water cooled. So I'd have the 120 volt heater on there, but then I would also have like a copper tube that's taped up onto it. And so when the print is done, you open a valve and then a whole bunch of cooling water runs through that in a radiator. And so your bed cools down a lot faster, and maybe, just maybe, the prints won't be completely destroyed, although they probably will be warped by that, and they'll pop off faster. Let's check out the other USB slot. I can't, because everything is soldered to the front of this board, I can't test if the USB is positioned correctly. It looks like it is. Let's just give them a little bit more space, though. There will be a bit more of a gap than a 0.2, because that's, even though it looks, you know, pretty generous in CAD, the 3D print kind of blows it up a little bit. So let's give those a little bit more room to breathe. Now, where are they? They are in which layer? I could do a press pull on them, but it's better that I take it down to the source where we have an offset from a model, and the offset is right here. So let's make that 0.4. That'll give it a pretty tight appearance still. We'll do that to its buddy. I'm so annoyed. I needed to train Willow to hang out with me while I stream. And it's not like I did anything to discourage her from hanging out with me while I stream, but she just doesn't do it. She just doesn't. She doesn't like the noise. She likes the quiet. Even though the breeder would walk around. So she was brought up on a farm the first, 3 weeks of her life, and the breeder would go with a big sheet of metal and like bang it with a spoon, walking around all the kennels. Not like torturing the dogs, but just getting them acclimated to loud noise so that they wouldn't be skittish. And so during thunderstorms, Willow's cool as a cucumber. She does not care about thunderstorms. She could be doing anything else. She's like bored, which is great. It's really great. She's a very tough dog when it comes to that. But if I am speaking a little bit loudly, she will flee to another room. And I do full theater voice when I stream. It can be very annoying when people get on like webcam calls and they're doing the full-on, you know, stage voice. I do a slightly louder than I would normally talk voice. So TDT Club, I remember that name. How you doing? How's it going? We're not working on Burn the Subs, believe it or not. I'm a little burny outy on Burn the Subs, but we're gonna get back to that. And there's a little bit of like hardware stuff that I want to kind of sort out on that, and we'll get the board working again. I promise you that. I know I've been sort of avoiding it for like 4 years. I definitely owe it to Twitch to get that thing working up again. Owe it to all you guys to get that thing working again. You know what? I've been working on it for a long time. And I wanted to get some other stuff done. And so what we're doing is we are building a modular synthesizer module tester. So, am good, no worry. Look, the amount of harassment that I take on a regular for not having the board working, as if I owe people stuff personally, is ridiculous. People come in here and they go, "Where is the board?" And I go, who are you? So, you know, it sounds like excuses, and it is, but it needs to be said. How you been, TDT? I'm gonna cough. Oh my God, you guys, the mic wasn't, sorry, the camera wasn't up far enough, but there was a little chunk that came out of me. Okay, anyway. Whew. All right, so this is one of the same plugs that I'm using. I'm just gonna see if the dimensions fit. Oh, that's actually a really good fit. If I can get that to align, I don't have to widen that at all. And what about USB? USB, I gave a little bit more room. I might rescind that room. Where did the little plug go that I had? There it is. I want it to fit like this. I kind of want it to fit like this with that little room, because there's like almost no wiggle room on these components. I don't owe you guys shit. You guys sub to other channels without them burning you onto wood. Why should I have to do that? But I will. out of the goodness of my heart, and because it attracts a lot of people to my stream. No pretenses there. I'm fully selling out to get the burn the subs back up. Okay, so this and this, and let's undo our little gapping over here. This is going to lead to all kinds of pain. In the past, what I did was isolate the panel so that just this piece was what I would print instead of all this stuff, because that requires supports and things. Did you seal the board? No, and the old boards are actually sitting behind my computer. My computer desk is a little filthy right now. I really don't want to show you guys it, but the backdrop for my computer desk is a frame where I've put up both of the old boards. And there are lights that are installed in that. I just need to wire them up to a single USB plug. And then I can turn on the USB and it will display the boards in the background. The problem is when they're at the back of a computer desk, you don't really see anything because the monitors are up in your way. Pay for OnlyFans, it's probably cheaper. I don't have an OnlyFans and I'm never gonna have one. I'm sorry. I don't know, is it 2.5? Yes. The only problem with these horizontal holes is that it is busting out in the dimensions where the PETG is the weakest, which is the between layer bond. So if your holes are a little bit too tight, you might bust open your print if it's a little weak. Yeah, and that's also too long of a screw. Can I get something a little bit smaller? Maybe I can use one of these. I did want it to hold on pretty tight, but I think I need to make that hole larger, which is going to make the sidewall even weaker. Oh, that'll actually hold on just fine. Yeah, we don't need to use the 2.5. I can use the M2s. And it'll grip pretty nicely. Where's that emote from? I have no idea. I just find stuff on BTTV that makes me laugh. I think another stream had that. It might have... Did Rabaz get that one? It might have been that... Rabaz might have found that one, actually. And it made me laugh, and so I put it on. Justifying a tier 3 sub for that? Jeez. $25 for that. People are crazy. Can't tell everybody what to do with their money. And if it makes you happy, then whatever. Nobody loses, really, except your wallet. Yeah, that's a slip fit. I don't know if that's going to be a good fit. I might need to just widen the holes a little bit. The thing is, like, it'll screw in, and it won't, you don't feel the screw getting any tighter. You don't feel any torque coming back from the screwdriver. And it continues to spin and spin, but then when it actually comes to trying to move it around, it won't back out because of the ridges of the 3D print. So it might actually be all right to have like this. Let's just see from the front. I think I'm going to do 2 of these. These have smaller heads on them, but yeah, that's a nice slip fit. And then this goes here. Line it up. Line it up. Line it up. All right, we'll try to plug a USB into this a couple times and see if it can tolerate this. Otherwise, I'm going to have to get larger fasteners, but I think this is the size that I planned for. I'm going to have to narrow the holes for them. I can almost feel that one tighten up. It looks like our alignment is perfect, though. Yeah, it's actually off by a little bit. It could go the 0.2 gap. I could sand the ends of this and get it to get a little tighter up in there. That's probably what I'll end up doing, is put the bracket on a file. But let's just see if it can tolerate being plugged into USB. Let me just get a plug that's not already plugged in. I have one right here. Some, I think, Nintendo brand. I can feel it click, but it also seems to be like pushing it away. No, it's actually doing okay. In the past, oh yeah, that actually does move. Because the screws aren't gripping and because the holes for the screws are so big in this board, that slips around. So I think what I need to do is possibly put a little piece of post into there. I don't really want to do that though. What's happening is because of the size difference between the fasteners and this gaping maw, it's able to kind of scooch around a little bit. And the way that I would tighten it up is by having a little piece of post in there. But the problem is the print bed is on this face. So whatever comes out of here is going to be just ridiculously flimsy. Unless it was huge. No, I'm not going to do a heat press. No. I mean, best I could do, maybe I could like put Teflon around the screw at the top and fit that in. Like a shoulder screw would be the way to go with this. Maybe I do have I don't know if I have a shoulder screw of that size, specific size. I don't think I have like washers that would do that job. I could just use a larger fastener and tighten it down more. That's the only thing I think I have in my repertoire to do here. So I'll use a larger fastener and I will get it a little tighter in there, and that'll keep it from moving around. And then additionally, what I'm going to do is I'm going to file down the bottom of that thing so that it moves the socket up just a little bit, like 0.1 of a millimeter. I don't know how accurate my 3D printer is for this kind of stuff. I don't know if it would register that 0.1 of a millimeter move. I think it might, but I'll just file that a little bit. If I were like a professional fab shop and I was machining this thing out of aluminum, then I could make all of these adjustments properly and it would all have an effect. That may be all that's necessary. Just a little flattening of it. And then I need to find the shortest, slightly larger screw that I have. That one is way too big. That one is slightly larger. I think these are the short ones. Unless I've got a stash of slightly different shorties. Yeah, these are the only ones that I can really do. I'm afraid they're going to pop the print in half, though. These are going to bust it in half by over pressuring. Try it, though. See what kind of an effect this has. Hey, what's up, Copper? How you doing? How's it going? How's it goonin'? Wait a minute. You know, I refuse to let the internet take that word for what they want it to mean. Oh yeah, larger fasteners will definitely do it. That'll stabilize it. That will definitely stabilize it. I had a rant at the beginning of stream about how tomatoes should not belong on a sandwich. Talk about the most controversial thing that I can come up with. What's going on here? Okay, that goes like that. This goes here. Tighten that down. Like, if I wasn't working from home, that would have totally ruined my whole day. Don't worry about it. And don't look it up. Preserve your innocence on this one, please. The problem with the pan heads, and maybe I need to use... Actually, yeah, hold on one sec. I may have exactly the fastener that I need for this. My unfortunate addiction to fasteners says that, lends me to the fact that I have exactly what I need for this specific task. Not lock washers, though. Not those. Countersunk 2.5 millimeter screws. And the countersink will center on the larger hole. You just had to wrap it all up into one sentence, didn't you? You just had to do it. I'm not even mad. I'm just disappointed. Yeah, so I can either use these larger pan heads. The problem with the pan heads is no matter how tight I get them, there's still a lot of wiggle room between these holes. So in order to take up some of the wiggle room, countersunk screws, unfortunately they're hex, and so that means that, I mean, there's already this huge repertoire of types of fasteners that I need to use in order to take this thing apart, but, and I've also already busted the hole out, so I don't know if I'll get a grip on the 2.5mm countersinks. But let's try it. We couldn't stop it. Somebody had to say it, and there it is. You know, this is our fault. We encouraged this sort of thing, and it's now blown up in our face. We can't take it back. We can only look forward from here to the future. I could countersink the fasteners that are going to go on the panel, but that's a little bit extra. Wait, oh, that's the wrong thing. That was a... Ooh, my hands are cramping up. You guys saw my glucose level was like 300, so after eating lunch. Oh, this is exactly the type of fastener that's called for here, because now everything is nice and centered and even, and this thing can't wiggle. No wiggling. No wiggling from you. Okay, so now the longer small fasteners go up here. Is it so wrong that I plucked this out of the ether? I am simply harvesting what was present at the time. I am without blame. Where did the other fastener go? Hey, screw, where'd you go? You bastard. Right now we gotta let the print cool, because without cooling time, I can't get the print off of the bed. We need to wait for it to print. Or we need to wait for it to cool down. And when it cools down, the expansion rate of the glass is different from the expansion rate of PETG. PETG shrinks by, I think, 3%. And so it's going to do that regardless, irregardless. It's going to do that. It's going to do its shrinking thing. And then we will simply be able to pluck the print from the bed. One of the things that I wanted to do a long time ago, back when people were printing a bunch of stuff for the pandemic, I wanted to set my printer at a 45-degree angle, because that way, if I set it to do a factory task, I could have it simply drop the print into a hopper when it's done. Because you don't need to clean the bed or anything. All the stuff will just fall off. Is that gonna get tight? Feels pretty loose. This might be... I might have to go up a size in the screws, or make the holes smaller, but I don't want to reprint this thing. I mean, I already spent all the time printing it. So, USB-C test. Oh, that feels way more solid. Yeah, that's not moving anywhere. And it makes a nice clink. A nice clunk. Clink. That's what the sound of glass makes, bother. It goes click. That's what I was looking for. Clunk and click kind of collided in my head. It doesn't really, like, does it get harassed at all? The board moves a little bit, and this is moving within its socket, but it's in there pretty good. Ah, it's good. It's nice. Whoa, let's not kick that whole screw kit onto the ground. And it's nice and centered in what looks like a Play-Doh arrangement. My PETG is a little gloopy, but that's pretty good. That's a good spot. We got that one right. Hopefully we get this one right, but we can't tell if we got this one right until this one fits in. And I guess what I can do in order to test this is we can just cut up and around on this and just make it into a hole that fits. Dur, dur, dur. This hole was made for me. Dur, dur, dur. This is part of iterative design. I'm cutting this thing away so that we can get an impression of its buddy next to it. And we can make our next print be as good as we can make it. I got to go up from there. This claw scalpel blade is quite good for doing various operations. I mean, we're only going through 2 millimeters of plastic, but still, this stuff is like butter. Holy shit. The problem is PETG is much stronger than human flesh. So I got to be careful of what I'm doing here. PETG is much more resilient than the disgusting human meat that I'm made of, that my fingies are made of. Nutty putty gives me the creeps, man. Everybody loves to talk about it. That putty was not as nutty as they said it would be. All right, so if I get that one right, it looks like both of our USBs line up perfectly. I did one thing right. Got those distances right. How's that gonna plug? Can it plug with the plug, or do I need to make a little recess for it? No, I don't need to make a recess. That fits great. In the past, with like the computer stuff, when I've done one of these USB-C sockets, I can make like a little recessed area where it drops down to 1 millimeter thickness so that you can get that plug in. But there's a little bit of standoff from the actual USB-C port. There's a little bit of area outside of it. And so that sticks just a tiny bit out of the print, but it fits nice and tight. That's why I like oscillating tools. Yeah, it's harder to hurt yourself because your skin has that little bit of pliability to it, so it doesn't end up getting grated away. So if we can get that right, and I've done everything in my power to get that right, this will be pretty good. And I can print out another one. Now there's one more, well, there's 2 more edits to do before I start the print on this. So while the other one cools, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go get a MIDI plug. I had to buy a MIDI cable and it's way too long. I had to buy a MIDI cable for this project. I hate buying more stuff for these projects, but you know, if I'm gonna plug a keyboard into this thing and play notes to test modules, then I'm gonna need, you know, something MIDI. I could have done the modern MIDI though. The modern MIDI that's on like a headphone plug, but that depends on what company is making the MIDI thing that you're using. Apparently there's a couple different standards. Where did my MIDI cable go? It got lost. It's lost in the fray. Let's get this off of the printer. Ooh, I had to actually peel that off, which is bad because it can warp the print, especially when you're making something like brackets like this. Let's clear the printer off because we're going to start a print as soon as we can, which is whenever we're done vetting out the other holes. To be honest, for iterative design, this is pretty good. We've done pretty good. Usually we have to go many more iterations before I get this close to the right numbers. Barrel connectors, which more devices offered them as an alternative option for charging to reduce usage of the USB to data only, unless it's absolutely needed. Yeah, I mean, USB chargers are getting way more prevalent now. I like a good barrel jack, but to be honest, the simplicity of having a USB-C that negotiates for its own voltage is pretty cool. The more prevalent it gets, the more I want that. The problem is Amazon is not in the business of regularly sending me $75 USB-C laptop chargers. If they were, I would be completely 100% gung-ho about converting everything into USB-C. But unfortunately, I don't have a ton of stuff like that. And so there's one port on a computer, and usually a USB charging brick, when you get one like the multi-brick, has one port as well. So I'm keeping it to research equipment, like test equipment, because I figure USB-C is a very stable standard, and I'm not doing anything on the highly precise level. So if I need, for instance, 15 volts for my synthesizer, USB-C is a nice little alternative. I should probably put one into the big box here. That would be a good idea. Where did that cable go that I bought? You know, I bought a cable. I bought a MIDI cable, and I kept seeing it hanging around, and now I don't see it anymore. And now I don't see it. I just don't see it. The MIDI cable that I bought for MIDI. What the hell happened to this stupid cable? Did I actually put it in here? Is it in the drawer? What is that one? That is a long, oh, that's the endoscope. I got an endoscope and I took a look inside of the payphone. All of the stuff that I assumed is correct. It's just that I'm not good at picking that type of lock. The barrels in the lock that the key interfaces with, sorry, I'm burping because I'm leaning over. So that when you insert the key into one of these locks, there are little pins that are pushed up and get sort of aligned so that you can twist the lock. But in addition to having to align on this axis, they have to twist into one of three positions. So when you're picking the lock, you need to have an awareness of how you are moving that pin, how you're twisting that pin into one of the three positions. And once you get a mastery of that, it's actually fairly easy to pick those locks. I don't have a mastery of that. I don't know the first thing about getting a feel for that. Some people seem to just take to it intuitively. It's not that I'm bad at picking locks. I'm not bad at it. I'm not great at it, but I'm not bad at it. But these in particular are insidious. And so the payphone only has 3 of them. So there's not that many permutations. So I could get through picking it, and I have spent a little bit of time trying. Oh, here it is. A little bit of time trying, but I haven't had any luck with it. So, and all of the stuff that I was doing, the direction that I was moving things in, and the operation of unlocking it, those were all correct. And I verified that with the endoscope. USB Foundation killed 12-volt USB PD version 3? What do you mean? 5, 9, 15, and 20. Yeah, there's still 12 volts on it. 5, 9, 15, 20, 28, 36, 48. I mean, you can just put stuff into a 12-volt regulator after that. This is a MIDI plug. This was invented before you were born. And it's a way to send musical instrument data from instrument to instrument. So that's why we need to tighten it up a little bit. I need to tighten it up a little bit, maybe put a little lip at the front. Putting a lip at the front might not be entirely possible. Actually, it might be possible. I could have it taper away, or I could just have it interface a little tighter, because it's a fairly snug-fitting cable. So let's close that before I send it off into oblivion. 2 strategies. I guess one is I can tighten it up a little bit and put a little ramp on that face. And that'll be supported by the support material when I print. So we go to this first. Let me get all this stuff out of the way of the mouse. It's not really a pet peeve so much as it is a completely reasonable standpoint that it is annoying to use a computer when you're bumping into everything with your mouse. I share space between building and computering, so it happens quite often that it encroaches. 3.3 volts would be a special edge case because the original USB is 5 volts. So going below 5 volts is kind of a dangerous thing to do. You can have, sometimes 3.3 volt stuff gets blown up by 5 volts. So if you plug it into 5 volt USB and it negotiates down to 3.3, it needs to be tolerant of 5 volts. Why would you design something that way? So that's kind of why, I guess they do design stuff that way. But it just seems like you got to be, I don't know, it's not a great idea. Although most electronics are going down to 3 volts, so having it, I guess, is completely reasonable. It just seems like if you're trying to charge something, you'll want to go up in voltage because that means your wires can be thinner. You don't need as much bulk wiring when you have lower amps going over higher voltages. So if you negotiate up to 15, then you can quick charge without blowing your house up. 50-something volts is the max of low voltage electronics, so that they're near that limit. Yeah, 48 being 48 is typical of like stepper motors and stuff. More errands. Oh man, I need to do my errands. I need to go to the pharmacy of all places. Okay, so what we're doing here is we are going to the sketch that defines this face right here. That's not the right one. That's not the right sketch. Finish the sketch. Let's go to the sketch that defines. Is it that one? There she is. We gave it 20 millimeters. I'm going to take it down by a full millimeter. I'm going to go 19. That may not fit. Let's just double check what 19 does to an MF. So I can take these down to 19. Ooh, careful. There you go, 1902. I don't know what happened during 1902, but so now if I try to insert this thing, it starts pretty tight. I don't want to put too much like force on my calipers here. Well, that fits in. Now it doesn't grip. That's, oh, it bumped it up to 20. Yeah, it might actually not fit into 19. Well, with it set to 19, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put an angle on that face. And so the face will have an angle to it, and hopefully this will bite in a little bit more to where it needs to go. And I guess what I could do is take it so that, where are we at 2 millimeters? Yeah, 2 millimeters, we are above the little area there. This is really meant for like a small, like very thin, what do you call it? Piece of sheet metal. It'll just grow out of it. It's not a, it is a, wait a minute, it is a phase. It is a phase. We're iterating. I'm iterating. 19 is out of, let's do 19 and a half. Well, but if I did that, I could actually, yeah, I could actually move it in quite a bit more, can't I? So maybe I should move it in quite a bit more and give it an angle. So if I do 18 and a half, and then I give, what kind of an angle is that going to do? Modify, fillet, no, chamfer, we want a chamfer. Chamfer, this and this. I mean, I could take it down to a point. That's going to fit into that stuff much better. Extra low voltage is sub 50 volts and sub 120. Low voltage is 50 to 100 volt AC, and 120 to 1500 are high voltage. I called my thing medium voltage because Redditors yelled at me. They were very mean. So the distance there is still 18, but it's going to fall into that little clip, and then it's going to have what I think is like a 0.5 millimeter. No. Yeah, 0.5 millimeter height. First mistake is listening to Redditors. Well, what they made me do is they made me actually dig out the IEC standards for AC and review angrily what exactly I'm supposed to do in terms of AC design. Even though this was for a one-off power supply that I was personally using myself and wasn't going to be a manufactured product in any way, I made sure to make it comply to all the regulations. Damn it. 1.5. And then measuring inside of those a little bit. Oh my God. I mean, if I really want to like science this up and get it correct. Well, but from 0.5 up, it's still going to, this is still going to contact it at some point. And I guess we are iterating, so we need to put it to the test. So that'll stick in, but how far will that contact? I don't have a model of this specifically. If I did, we would have a better impression of how we are going to actually, you know, contact this PAWL, P-A-W-L. but like that was 1.5. So I think what I need to do is tighten it up and take that angle in a little bit more so that we get more pressure from those two little clips, and it really holds things in place because that MIDI plug is quite tight. So let's take a look at the sketch again, and we'll take that in to 18, maybe 17. I'll take that into 17. That's pretty far. But 17, and then these bust out from there, and we'll have them do... It's not the same angle, by the way. I don't need it to be the same angle. I just need it to interface with that properly and push in the spring and like really wedge in so that I have to press the things in order to get it out again. In which case, like, what is the minimum width on that? Let me just double check. Press it in. Oh, these only press into 19.8. Wow, 19.9. When I press in on the outside of this thing. Because this won't fit unless the spring things are able to spring thing. 19.7. So maybe I do want it back out at 19. I've just heard a screw fall on the ground and it made my eye twitch. I don't know where it came from. So let's take this to 18.8. 18.5. I'm going to go back to 18.5. It's like a compromise between the two there, and it might be difficult to plug in, but it'll hopefully catch on that. And so let's go back to the chamfer, and let's take that up so that it's... Is that going to be 1.5? 12.1. Come on. Stupid thing out here. Don't do that. Don't do snap points. Just do that. What are you doing here? What are we doing? 1 millimeter. That'll be fine. It's not 1.5. It's just 1 millimeter, but hopefully that catches it well. And since this is printing on support, it's going to be one of the most hideous looking faces of anything I've ever designed, but whatever. Next, the power button. What is the distance between here and here? That's not correct. What is the distance between this dot and this dot? That is also not what I'm looking for. Of course I want the exact, as the crow flies, distance through the product. 2 millimeter. Okay, so I'm going to do a radius around this thing, and then I'm going to drop it in 2 millimeters so that the power button doesn't stick out. It's flush with everything else. So let me go into whatever sketch I'm going to be doing that in. I guess sketch 3 is where I was making those things. Yeah, there's already a face in sketch 3. So let's take sketch 3. And we haven't projected any of this stuff into sketch 3. Let's just take all of this edge, all our edginess, and let's concentrate it. And let's bury it deep down in an unhealthy manner. All that edge. Okay. So now we have that projected in. I can double click and I double clicked on the wrong thing. Double click on this. It does not give us a continuous line. That's very annoying. Give me a radius around that and that. And this and this and this and this. And this. And this. And I'm going to make that. I kind of want to do 0.2. Everything's been 0.2. These models have been pretty accurate to what the actual thing is. So if I give it 0.2, it might be too tight of a fit. We might have to revisit this. This might be the second of 4 prints that it's going to take me to settle in on all these numbers. But now that I've done that, I can finish the sketch. I can bring back in sketch 3. And I can extrude. Well, let's get rid of this thing. I guess I'll do this after the fact, just because it's going to mess things up if I try to do it in situ. And that is -2. And that just makes a nice flush pocket for this thing to sit in. The other thing we need to do is we need to make this fit tighter. We have not solved that issue yet. So I think I'm going to do a press pull on this because I don't think the sketch has those dimensions in it. I based it off of, what did I base it off of? Does that have dimensions? Let's double check. Oh, I do actually have. So 2, we can make 1.8. Or 1. Wait a minute. Hold on a second. If I have 2 millimeters from the top and the bottom, how much more do I need? Where did the switch go? That's what I'm looking for right now. Where did it go? Is that what fell on the ground? That might be what fell on the ground. Might not have been a screw. No, that was definitely a screw. Okay, where is that green wire MF switch? Where did you go? Where are you hiding? You hid from me. We can't have that. I think it did fall on the ground. Hold on, let me look on the ground. I don't see it on the ground. Where could it be? Oh, there it is. It's right in front of my face. Bada bing. Okay, so I made this, I believe, 2 millimeters, so 20.6, but we really need to move it in quite a bit to get it to grip, unless I do the ramps, but I don't think this really requires ramps. I think I can just move it in a little bit and have it like 1 millimeter in. So if I take half a millimeter off of both of them, make them both 1.5, that'll make it go from 20 to 19, and I think that'll give us a nice little mechanical grip there. So let's do 1.5, and that boop moves that in, and we'll bring this one. Oh, is that supposed to, that's supposed to mirror the other one. It's supposed to be equal to the other one. So that one technically should be 1.5. We'll just do a measurement just in case. 1.5, okay, cool. We don't have any little insidious line sections sitting inside of this. Now the back and forth movement, the horizontal movement of the switch is nearly non-existent. So I think I'm gonna leave this alone, and that'll be that. And that has taken us to every single facet of this. We have redone everything slightly. I'm really hoping that this is in the right position. We kind of took a couple numbers and ran with it. I could always, I'm out of insulin. This is what it does to me when I'm out of insulin. It's like, hey, you're out of insulin, so I'm gonna scream at you. God, that is annoying. So I gotta go into my app. This is the fun part about disabling a constant droning beep. Well, okay, I'll disable it first, just so that I gotta go in here, pod management, and deactivate the pod, and then I'll start the print and redo my stuff. I think this one's gonna take longer than 20 minutes. This is gonna be kind of a long one, so I don't know. I mean, we've got time. Let's just take this piece, save it as a mesh, high refinement, all that fun stuff. Replace it, and then we put our side boob into my slicer. I could probably streamline this whole process. There's probably a lot of different ways that I can do this. Live pod racing. Live pod racists. Yeah, these pods are, I mean, they're very convenient. I kind of go through them a lot, though. I really want that T-Slim version where you can switch the pump electronics from site to site, and you just have a new site that you put in instead of an entire new pump. So I have to print this with supports because my printer is not that great. So I'm going to put this sort of near the middle, slice it. It's going to come up with this incredibly wasteful hour-long print with lots and lots of support all around it. Even a little fish. Huh. Why did it make fish? Strange. So let's slice that up, send it over to the printer. In the meantime, I am going to change out my pump. You guys get to view this for a minute or two because I got to remove my shirt. So I'm going to put this on. I'm going to put a little music on. I'm still going to talk to you guys, but I need to mute for actually taking off my shirt and that stuff. So I'm going to get the pump ready over here. Can I put like a small... Do I even have that overlay? That one is that thing. There's nobody. Blah, 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 blah. What do I have Yamcha on here? Anyway, okay, so I'll just do it the other way around. All right, new pod, who dis? Oh, new box of pods. Man, I'm burning through these. Burning through my supplies. Oh, I've got a lot of them, though. I have a lot more in the old supply dump. What I don't have a lot of is the glucose sensors, and so I got to call them about the error I had the other day. Pods. Nope, sitting on the mic cable. Hold on. Nerd. They come in packs of 5. Oh, now I need insulin. Insuline. We gonna have enough in this bottle? Yes, we will. Okay. I use the pods to kind of get me on the baseline. If I'm eating food and stuff, I will manually inject typically, and that makes the pods last a little longer. You're not supposed to need to do that, but since I burn so much insulin with my big fat body. Concerningly, though, if I go back on testosterone, I'm going to use more insulin. I think that's what it does. I'm going to run out of this bottle midway through, aren't I? Come on, you can do it. You can do it. You can do it. Come on. Oh, yeah, it made it. Try to get some of those bubbles out. Bubbles, bubbles, and bubbles, and bubbles. Lots of bubbles. All right, that's pretty good. Decently bubble free. Make sure we're ready to go here. What the hell's that? Get out of here. Activate pod. Fill pod. Fill the pod. I'm waiting for that day when I get in trouble for having a syringe on stream. There was one streamer that got a 30-day ban because she drank some alcohol on stream, which is completely allowed. But for some reason, they sent a care message that said, we're worried about your mental health, so we've banned you for 30 days. And it's like, huh? How is that going to help somebody's mental state? What's that? Hold on, I need to pull the window back up so I can read. I can't read. I hear a lot of non-diabetic strongman lifters complain about diabetics in the sport due to the edge given in muscle mass building due to insulin. I have a disadvantage, though, because I don't create enough testosterone. So, you know, we take insulin. Here's the thing, though. Building muscle because of taking external insulin is a big load of shit because they don't make their own insulin in the first place. You're not getting more insulin as a bodybuilder and a diabetic. You're taking that medication to be normal. It's not a matter of getting ahead. It's a matter of getting to the same. Oh, man, that nettles me. Hold on. I'm going to mute for my shirt. No one's any wiser. No one knows that my giant bicep is actually me cheating. That's not just my giant bicep, that's an insulin pump. I'm cheating. His diabetes gave him an advantage. It looks like he has a muscle there, but there's nothing but human technology. Okay, there we go. Man, I'm sweaty today. It's just a hot day, huh? I'm not getting around, moving around. Yeah, if it's how they earn money to live and they ban them for whether or not they think something might be meant, like they might be having a mental episode, it's like, what are you actually doing here? Like, that's some evil shit. Twitch is not notorious for making good decisions about bans and suspensions and stuff. I don't generally consider them to be very well rounded in that area. We are on hold until this thing prints out. And I probably should have made a truncated single surface 2mm tall build that would tell me whether or not my cockamamie schemes in ramps actually would work out. But I decided to full send it in sort of a ill-advised Hail Mary. The problem is that this print is going to take a full hour. I don't know if maybe I consider this to be a short stream. We are a couple minutes away from 3 hours. I don't think I get in trouble if I have shorter streams. Like, I don't know I don't know why the prevailing sort of sentiment around stream times is that you should do it for 4.5 hours, I think it is. That's a partner requirement, but it's not an agreement that we signed about. And so you can do like, oh, this stream will end early if I die in this game. Like, that's fine. That's what, you know, a lot of people used to do. I love streams like that because there's sort of this, there's the agreement hanging over everybody's heads. It might be a 2-hour-long stream because something crazy happened and you have to, you're done, you close it down. I don't understand why people push to do like 9-hour streams and stuff. We may do a short stream if I don't have any content here for us to really get to. There are other facets of this project, but I really just kind of wanted to put a bookend on the power supply and just be like, here it is. We have all of the ins and outs that we need, and it is done. And we're approaching that. It might be that after this hour, after this print, we will be totally done with this. FOMO of missing live for stream. Yeah, I think it's more like, yeah, number of viewers per amount of time that you're streaming, because my streams are typically this bell curve. Well, kind of a bell curve. It doesn't taper off as much as it does in the beginning, but it is kind of like it ramps up and then it starts kind of going down a little bit. Probably as like other streamers that start at like 3 p.m. start going live and people wander off. They've had enough of bother, which is totally understandable. But right about now, I'm hitting like peak viewers, and it's like maybe I need to like draw this out and continue it on, do some production stuff. What did you just call me? I ain't no bell curve. I'll have you know, I'm at the top of the bell curve because I'm the best. I don't know if I can stomach. Maybe I'll go take a nap and you guys just watch this. No, I can't do that. But everybody's having a nice, pleasant Saturday, I hope, and you guys are getting stuff done. I certainly am. We are an hour away from me finding out whether or not I am doing another hour of printing. And I guess perhaps we do leave it at that, and I will catch you guys at the next stream. Let me do my end cards and stuff. Let me just get that prepared. I'm going to try to prolong it a little bit and sort of saunter off instead of, because usually as soon as I decide that the stream is gonna end on a note, I will be gone in like a minute. I'll be like, oh, that looks like I don't have anything else to do. Bye. I kind of make it, I make it a little too short. So the next stream is going to be on Tuesday, unless something crazy happens, which a lot of crazy stuff has been happening. So, you know, there have been a couple like big things that have been going on in life, mainly other people's lives changing fundamentally, that I've had to participate in and help people through. So, and then this is going to be for the 17th is going to be the next stream. There we go. Full moon on a Tuesday. Oh no, does that mean I'm going to be drunk and naked? that might fix the create stream checkbox after show. Create stream. Well, that was the thing you said earlier. It's still up in the chat. Hold on. Let me scroll up to it. Let's search all over again. Good morning. Loading up. Where I was going astray. VOD. Hold on. I'm looking at it right now. Create stream. Scroll to midway and uncheck the live reactions box. Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. I'm not dumb. Are the dogs going to act up because of the moon? I don't know. I haven't clocked how Willow was acting during the last full moon. So I need to go into this one. And I need to go into settings. It's not in this stuff. Oh, you know what? It might not actually show up on my other... It's actually this one that I want to do that with. Wow, did we really have... Feedback. Turn off reactions. There we go. That's better. Now I could read that corner of the screen and I won't lose anything. That was much simpler than where you pointed me to. It was a little ... menu. Do we have an official name? I know they call this the hamburger menu, but when it's 3 dots, do you call it the dot menu? What is that? It's still kind of a hamburger arrangement for the hamburger menu, and calling something a hamburger menu is a lie because you're not choosing what hamburger to get, and I can't stand by that. I think it's kind of a horrible lie. What does Octoprint think in terms of time left? Octoprint, which should be pretty accurate, actually says there's only 48 minutes. Okay, so we still have 48 minutes. I don't really want to drag this out. We've dragged out 3D printing before on this stream, and if I had that layer 1 going a little faster, I'm sure it wouldn't take 48 minutes. Printing without supports is pretty fast on this printer, but since it's PETG, I really want to squish down that filament onto the bed, and you have to kind of lay it out and let it only partially squish. Otherwise, it's going to lift up after the nozzle and cause all kinds of problems. So we've struck a balance between those two factors. The temperature is what's going to stick it down, and then going slow and laying it down just a little tiny bit of squish. That makes it so that that makes it so that my first layer is extremely consistent. Yeah, that one's a hamburger. 3 dots is something else. It's called a kebab. I don't believe you. Is that you're making stuff up? That doesn't sound. It's not a kebab. You're making a joke. It's hard to tell. But if I get that little bit of squish and it lays it down nice and gentle, the adhesion to the first layer is legendary. You need to get through that first layer without rolling your print onto itself. It's a blandwich. You're a blandwich. Ellipsis in computer user interface. I'm not calling it a kebab. I refuse. That's the ... menu. I refuse to conform on this one. It's a little piece of a sandwich, little piece of a hamburger. They were hungry when naming it. 3 dots in a vertical configuration does not a kebab make. I don't know what kind of kebabs they're getting over there in Silicon Valley. Yeah, they're not getting normal kebabs. They need to go, you know, take a plane ride, go to the shops, get a real kebab. Because it's nothing like, it's not 3 dots. Full of microplastics. Well, it is Silicon Valley after all. It's in the name. All right, this is going to take too long. I'm not going to prolong this. We will end the stream. I'm going to pull the plug on my Saturday stream. Not early, but sort of in the face of long iterations. And I kind of knew that we were going to get here with this. I don't want to spend... I don't want to spend the mental tax to try to start laying out the next layer of the board. We'll do that on Tuesday, and then that'll give me the momentum to go through and wire the whole thing and get it all up and functioning. So we will hit the ground running on Tuesday. until then, I'll be on the Discord. I mean, you know, things are going on. People are doing stuff. We got a lot of projects going on in there. I'm going to see to figuring out the layout on my own a little bit. I mean, you guys saw the momentum that I got with the power supply. I was able to fully solve our current problems and our over-the-top problems between streams. So the sooner we can get all this hardware together, the sooner we can start piecing together a UI that's going to involve this screen. It'll look really cool in the process. And then also, we need to spend a little bit of time at some point building up this circuit board where it's going to have three dual amplifier chips on it that will function as clipping detectors. They're not going to detect clip, they're just going to fade in and out of the dual color LED depending on what signal is going in and out. So that'll be an indicator to us of what's going on with the audio, and then I need to route all 6 of those signals and the 6 buttons down to the other boards where they are going to be muxed onto channels. It's all pretty straightforward, and we've vetted most of it out. The module testing module continues in its progress. I really hope that my UI can live up to my expectations of it. I hope I can come up with something that's really configurable and interesting. All right, that said, I don't have much else to do. So I can check to see who else is on Twitch, if we've got like somebody that we'd want to raid. Let me just quickly take a peek at my channels here. But it's tough because you guys are a little bit, you're not quite doing the whole, oh man, should I knock on Soding's stream and force you guys upon Soding? If you guys want, check out TSODING, Soding. He does programming streams. And he's quite good. He's a lot of people watching too. Let's see. We should knock on like a popular streamer so that they hate me, right? Raid that oh bother guy. What's he up to right now? What is he? What are you even saying? What is that? Who is this Joker? This guy's a fucking idiot. Did he just say that about me? All right, let's stop doing that. Let's stop doing that. That's a played out joke. It won't let you raid yourself. We tried early on. We tried it. We did raid oh bother, and it doesn't let you do that. Yeah, have a good weekend, everybody. Let's see. I should knock on like, oh God, somebody who hasn't configured it. Could you imagine the chaos? No, I'm not going to do that. I'm not that. Car hole would be actually a funny one to do, but no, I'm not going to do it. Yeah, the tunnel, the video tunnel. Oh my God. We're entering a video tunnel. Ah! All right. Anyway, that's the first thing you do with a camcorder when you're a little kid. I'll catch you guys later. Here's all my info. It's got some semblance of social media on it. Although I very rarely tweet something, I should probably think about tweeting something like when I get the screen running on this thing. Because people like looking at that kind of stuff. And maybe Japanese electronics Twitter will finally know that I exist, because they're doing some of the most interesting stuff with circuits. Japanese electronics Twitter is a trip. I love it. I'm still in that early phase of Twitter membership before all the toxicity kind of permeates into my own feed. My feed is mostly like cool electronics, so hopefully I can keep it that way, and maybe I can contribute a little bit to that. But in the meantime, I will definitely be on the Discord, and I'll be working on this stuff. Hope you guys work on your projects well, and I'll catch you guys later. Bye.